Futures were little changed ahead of key non-farm payrolls data for August just out. We'll show you right away here. A bit of a miss, to say the least. 235,000 jobs created in the month of August versus 728,000 expected. So a surprise there, better part of 500,000. So again, 235 versus 728 there on the non-farm payrolls. Unemployment rate unchanged, 5.2% across the board. That was expected to remain unchanged as well. As we said, little changed heading towards this number this morning, coming off a positive showing yesterday for the S&P and the NASDAQ. We had them both back at record high territory. The Dow was little changed at the end of the day, but we are heading towards another positive week overall. Not an entire trading week, obviously, for September, but we'll get into the first full week coming up next week. Obviously, investors also awaiting some more stability and volume to come back into the market coming out of the summer trading session. Individually this morning, we'll have a look at Cassava Sciences, still making moves here in the pre-market after the company came out and commented on those allegations regarding its Alzheimer's treatment. Once again, was up more than 12% now, about 11.5%. DD Global back on the move. Beijing thinking about taking the company private and under its wing. So we'll talk about DD here. DocuSign reported, and some of these highly shorted low float stocks back on watch this morning as well. It's Friday, September 3rd, 2021. tradertv.live starts now. And there we go. Look at how things stand at this point. A little volatility there on that jobs number, but we are still in positive territory. The NASDAQ 0.3%. You can see the TSX futures here in Toronto a little negative at this point, but basically unchanged. Positivity at the bottom end there for cryptocurrencies as well. If you're just joining us a few minutes late, here we go once again. Bit of a miss for that August jobs number, 235 versus 728. Expected there, so better part of 500,000 miss in the wrong direction there for, again, non-farm payrolls for August. So we'll keep an eye on the futures here, guys. Good morning. It's Friday. We did get some positivity, but right back down here, heading southbound. Once again, Arun, what do you think here?
I think we've cleared we've defined the edges of the range. I'll go over this in more detail when we talk about the futures, but this market is kind of expanding the top end of the range. And I think we got to keep an eye on 45.50 if we ever get to that at some point today.
Yeah, we have. We also have spot gold here up a little bit, and then some of you guys talking about it. But it's Ethereum time. Pop some wheelies out for some cryptocurrencies because we're starting to rock and roll back to 4,000. It looks like right now Ethereum making some nice highs here off that number. Just a nice little rally up, 40, 50 bucks here on ETH and BTC now as well over that hump as well. Now look at this move from BTC, guys. 49.9 up to 50,800 right now as well. So Bitcoin rocking and rolling, 51,000 US dollars right now for some BTC. So yeah, crypto's liking this number as well. The market's actually liking it. So hey man, it's asset class ahead as we continue to make new highs. And look at the NASDAQ. They thought maybe they didn't like it. Now they like it again. And you're up 0.37 right now, and it continues to rock and roll. I have Sava up here. We will talk about that. We took a nice little trade on Sava, 59 up to 62, then dumped it out there at 60.50. We'll talk about that as we go. But hey, it's going to be a fun day. It might be a little slow. But that's why you're with us here on Trader TV Live, where we'll talk about everything that's moving, and we'll address all your questions. Maybe not all of them, but some questions and concerns in the chat, guys. And we're really excited to have Miss V here as well. And you'll be not surprised, maybe you'll be happy with the color that Miss V is wearing.
Yeah, we'll get to Ms. V here in 2 seconds. Guys, just checking on the 10-year. I just saw this headline down 2 basis points, 2 full basis points to the downside. I guess it spiked down there to 128. We're back to 129.5. I know that's tough to see, but 129.5 right now for the U.S. 10-year. So things moving around after that jobs report, as we mentioned. Let's get over to the desk and say good morning to Miss V in green. Miss V.
Right, guys, I wish you a green day. Thank you very much for joining us today. Let's have a wonderful day together. Please enjoy the show and let's get it started, Brendan.
Let's indeed get it started, guys. We are trying to hold on to positive territory, as we said, off of that report. Bit of a choppy reaction, to say the least, so far. Let's talk about Cassava Sciences, because that's way more exciting at this point than these futures. If you missed it, they did come out and comment once again on these allegations. You remember last week we were talking about Cassava, fell from $120 to $50 after allegations suggesting some of their Alzheimer's treatment was, or the data coming out of testing for their Alzheimer's treatment was not as expected. But they're breaking back above some pivots here, guys, on comments saying that they still feel, because they did comment on this last week as well, they still feel these allegations are completely false.
And I feel like we missed an opportunity here on Sava just to even buy some of these bottoms. I mean, I have a 7-minute chart up right now, and it just, these 52s, like this held even off this. Okay, so this is 7 minutes, sorry, not 7 day. So you drop down. You're talking about it dropping from 140, 120. That's exactly what happened. But if we just look at this, forget about all these levels. We're not going to come back to this for a minute. But you dip down. You basically stop at $50 even. I mean, let's call it 48.80, I don't know, whatever, doesn't matter. You double touch that again, and then we start making basically this amazing range down here that I wish I would have saw this yesterday. And that's why, like I said, you're gonna have to trade names that are moving around, names that have volume today, and that's why it brings Sava to light. And I mean, this bottom, and we'll talk about it as a day trade. I don't think we're gonna get back down to $52, but if that does happen, I really think we gotta put some of this in our portfolio, maybe even 52 or 53, something like that here in this area if we can get it, and then use this 48 as that bottom, because I mean the risk reward here on Cassava Sciences is absolutely ridiculous in my opinion. All you've done is fall back in, and now they look at a daily chart. Oh my God, this is a face slapper for me right now as well. This might even be worth taking along right now. You see, so this is me like post vacation where I have still a little bit of color, and then look at this face. Wow, okay, that would have been done in the dead of winter, maybe. I don't know about that. But here you go, dead side here. It's part of the Italian. I have a little bit of olive complexions naturally, not in that picture. Down to 48.30 a little bit right down there. I think Cassava Sciences needs to go today on this talk. If it comes back down here, I think it's a buy for a longer term. We've already taken one trade, and I mean, I was sitting here talking about this with Arun and Brendan, and as it just kept going up, I said at one point I got to take an even level break. It would have been 58, but I really wasn't looking at it until then, so we took 59 and then just got it out when it just started ripping up. We tried to watch the tape. It came back and up, so we got out at 62 on this way up. We debated getting out at 60.50. We got out some there. Then we let the rest ride. Obviously rose-colored glasses. We thought maybe this could get going even higher. No real levels to talk about. Like I said, we just made it straight down. Then all of a sudden it came back in and it broke 60.50 and we got out. So the next entry here for me would be somewhere around here. 55 or 56. If we can fall back into this area, then we'll go. But remember what it is, Arun? They're on a conference call. Now, I don't know if that's over right now or not, but the conference call, they were trying to shred some of these allegations. Apparently, they did a decent job convincing a few people, and it did make a move back to the upside. So a very, very slippery slope, I was going to say, if you trade this right now, especially if you're not on the call.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm looking at the chart, but I'm seeing a little bit differently than you are, and I'm actually looking for shorts. So I am looking for shorts sub 60, and the reason I'm looking for shorts is this. I've zoomed this out on a 15-minute chart just so I can show you guys the structure. We are at the top end of the range, just above 60. I was looking to see how much selling we can get above there. If we got selling, I wanted to go for the short. Now that we've come back underneath, I am on the offer waiting for it to get filled, and the stop on this is going to be just north of 65/66, somewhere in there. So it's about $6 and change, but if we take that shot, we got to get the bottom, right? 52 and change, where this whole thing started. This rally started around 53. I'm so slightly there, but I would like it to go towards 52 before we can take a shot or make it worth the risk that we're going to end up taking on it. So I'm seeing this as a top end range. We're starting to fade a little bit, so why not take a shot on the short side on Sava? There's two different ways to see it. You can either catch the bounce on the bottom through 55. Maybe if you catch that, you might have a move back up. But for me, I'm going to try to fade this near the top, and that's what I'm waiting for.
I have good news for you, my friend. Have you checked the pay for shorts?
I don't need to because they're free.
Boom! There we go, Arun. Free pay for shorts. So we'll drop our jaw on that one as Arun gets the free shorts today, because people were saying in the chat, how's Arun going to short something if he has to pay for it? But you've already checked that out, so good on that. And again, pay for shorts, that's the one update we have. If you're broker, if you're looking to short something that's a little bit wild, definitely just put in a test order, maybe a few dollars higher so you don't get filled, and make sure that you have those shorts, because preparation is the key, Brendan.
Right. Speaking of paying for shorts here, another one that we've talked about in the past, some China ties here. FT, future fintech, popping up in the pre-market this morning as well. There's also crypto-related ties here for this future fintech. Was up about 18% at one point, but it looks like they've signed a letter of intent to acquire another supply chain company or software company in China. So anyone looking at this future fintech group, again, there is blockchain ties here, so we're up on that as well. As we said, Bitcoin, guys, back above 50,000 here. But some of these smaller Bitcoin or cryptocurrency related stocks starting to pop up here in the pre-market as well.
FT.
FT is fairly thin. I'll take a shot at it. I mean, you look at the chart. This is a 15. Let me pull that back down to a 5, because I look at the chart. I'm going, what do you do with this? Maybe you take it through the 3s, but there isn't a whole lot of activity you can work with. Maybe you can take 315 and try to see if this thing wants to extend to the upside. But there's not. I mean, I feel like there's other stocks, even though the market's going to be somewhat thin today and somewhat quiet. I'm sure there's other stocks that are more active on the day than FT. Even though it's up 13%, it's 36 cents on the day. I'm not sure. I need more chart data before I can make a decision on trading this, because there isn't a whole lot. Just one spike from 260 all the way up to 295, and then a grind through 3 even is not going to be enough for me to work with. But it doesn't mean that I won't look at it. At some point today, we're going to have enough data and enough information and volume that this may set up in a way that's actually worth a shot. But for now, though, it's just going to be on the radar and not actively traded for me.
Yes. Okay. So I was looking at Mara. I mean, I think I agree with that statement that we need a little bit more data. I want the market to open up here. And I don't normally trade Mara. I will choose GBTC, which is the grayscale product, which is Bitcoin itself. It's not, but I mean, it will follow Bitcoin a little bit more. So I think would rather trade that than some of these companies. But or ETHE, we've talked about that as well, which is the Ethereum grayscale product over there on the pink sheets, otherwise known as OTC markets. But this Mara is looking pretty good here at 44. So if we could break through $44, again, look, pretty strong. And this is the trend of crypto. So this is the trend of Mara right now. And I mean, look at this, higher lows, higher lows as you go, and higher highs. So, I mean, we're starting to get to the upside here. If you can draw, I mean, I'm not, I don't draw these too often, but, if you can just sort of line this up right like that, and then you can sort of you almost got like a reverse flag in here going this way, just peaking out. So that's why if you get that $40 here, $44 break, you could be onto something. Every single time we broke a key level here, it started to go up. But the thing is, look at these. It always kind of came back in. So I don't know, a little bit nervous about this, but hey, if crypto starts to go again, well, not to go again. I mean, Bitcoin right now is 50,008. Ethereum just dropped off 4,000 a little bit, 39.5. And then these aren't going to follow Cardano. But yeah, so anyways, Mara, look at this line, man. I mean, I just randomly drew this. You just saw me do it. Ding, 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 just connecting all these dots. So we either need to break back down below this 42.5 or so area to break this trend line, or we just continue to march up, and then we just draw a little one like this here and start to create, this flag pattern that we're going to do. So let's wait to see what happens here. But, that's Mara for you. Riot probably looking very similar, I would assume. Oh, maybe not. See, this is what I mean. Why is Mara looking like that and Riot looking like this? So, yeah, definitely let's go back. Forget about that. Let's go back to Mara right now. And, I thought our lines were supposed to save on this new version, but there we go. So I prefer Mara than Riot, and long story short, but I do prefer ETHE or GBTC more than both of them, as crypto is starting to rock and roll. We do have a little mini crypto on our platform, but the volume's not great on that. So we're going to stick with ETHE or GBTC, Brendan.
All right. A number of, as we mentioned, some of these smaller crypto-related stocks starting to move here a little bit. BTBT as well. Another one that I just saw pop up on a volume scanner, guys. Michael Noss is a chartered market technician with Trade Ideas. We've been discussing some of these Chinese stocks over the past couple of weeks, and discussing the idea of when do we start to get interested in some of these. Michael joining us once again on a Friday from the cottage as well, it's worth noting. We appreciate you jumping on with us, Michael, today to talk about, when do we start to get a little more seriously interested in some of these stocks? Give us your thoughts here.
Hey, well, again, thank you for having me. Cottage or no cottage, it's always great to be on. Let's get right into the chart, shall we? So at Trade Ideas here, sorry, just losing my mouse. Here we go. So yeah, at Trade Ideas, we have a machine learning engine that basically we teach to trade using the traders that we have at Trade Ideas. And we've noticed exactly what you were talking about, Brendan, there, where it looks like it may be time to start looking at these Chinese names a bit. So up here, the chart that you're seeing right now is just an ETF that covers the internet names in China. Weekly chart, I've just noted that we're kind of at this $40 to $50 area where the last time we pulled back into, this was a big area of congestion and an area that was we rallied from. So when we pull back to it, we kind of expect that maybe the area that we could rally from again. So just some areas to watch that if you're going to play these names, as long as we're kind of above that $45, $50 area, you may be good. And if we start to pull back into it, that's where I would take a look at. So some names that we've seen from the AI recently, the first one is LI, which is Li Auto. It's an EV company. And essentially the last time I noted the two times here that the AI looked to trigger a buy. The last time was very successful. And this time was a couple days ago with that large igniting bar. And now we've just been sideways through that. So I would keep an eye, maybe set an alert over those most recent highs there. Another one was yesterday, and this was a large mover, RAAS, which is in the cloud computing space. As of this morning, before I came on, I checked, I think that we're already gapping up about 6%. So for you gap traders, this one will be a very interesting one to watch as well. But we're noticing this from an RSI divergence, which I talked a little bit about last time, but is often looked as a kind of a change in momentum. The sellers may be drying up in this area. So keep an eye on this one. Two buys from the AI around the $5 area. So that's where I'm going to watch as long as we're above $5. That's interesting to me. API, another one. This was video messaging, I guess, in the Chinese space. Again, a large igniting bar 2-3 days ago, showing us that maybe 2-3 days is when investors started to take a look at these things for a bounce. And then two nice kind of sideways inside days. So the AI was looking at about 33.50, so I would check that out as well. And then, if we lose that $30 key level, that's something that I would be interested in watching kind of to the downside, right? We always want to know where we're protecting our risk. Two more. One is DAO, and this one's education company. So same, right? Igniting bar 2 days ago, inside days for the last 2 days. We're noticing a pattern across here. And lastly, just DD wasn't from the AI recommendations, but we have a lot of ways that we analyze gaps, just like you guys do over at Trade Ideas. This one's gapping up a little bit pre-market. And again, the same, we're noticing these igniting bars and then inside days. So kind of pointing that there may have been some either short covering or some sort of institutional buying a few days ago. And, as retail traders, we just want to grab onto those, grab onto that wind and push through and see if we can get kind of a second leg from what the institutions do before us.
Yeah, so if we kind of zoom out here and talk about these from a larger scale, we'll let you switch off your screen sharing there, Michael.
Yep.
It's worth noting that set aside all of the regulatory stuff, set aside all of the government issues that are going on in China right now. If you drill down right to the price actions and get right into the charts, this is what we're seeing.
Yeah, and part of being a CMT, a chartered market technician, is we kind of believe that most information, if not all, is going to be prevalent in the charts. Short-term traders and retail traders, our benefit is that we can find the moment that we think we want to participate, and then if we see some sort of regulatory change or something down the road, we can be out just as quickly. But our hope is here that, you know, the regulatory issues are already priced in, and we've seen that in the down move and all of these in the chart, and the whole Chinese sector is bouncing where we think it should. So definitely pay attention to those regulatory factors. That's going to be a big deal, but it may be time to try to, you know, grab a little bit of bottom and see if there's something we can make out of it.
At the end of the day, price action is price action, as we like to say. Michael Noss from Trade Ideas. We appreciate your time as always. Good stuff. Thanks.
Thank you very much. Have a good one.
You too. There we go, guys. A look at, again, some of the Chinese stocks starting maybe to find a bottom. Sean, any thoughts on that?
Yeah, lots of thoughts. I mean, we've been talking about this for a very, very long time over here on the show, and I've been trying to pick bottoms on Alibaba for a while. I like what he was talking about, and once again, thank you, Michael, for coming on. I mean, I think that Trade Ideas has a great platform and a great product for various things. That AI sounds pretty cool to me as well. So thank you to Michael, and we look to forward to having him on, you know, hopefully as a regular guest. So thank you to Trade Ideas and Michael there. But okay, so I mean, Alibaba down here at 150. I mean, I can't really say too much about that other than that would have been a fantastic buy in hindsight because it did go up to 180, right? And so right now, I mean, it's nice to see some of these stocks get off the schneid here a little bit, but honestly, I don't know if it's over yet. The Chinese government still, with all their rhetoric coming through, and it's not a bad thing. They're just trying to make, honestly, I was reading a few things. You know, they're trying to make a freer market, which doesn't seem like that. I don't know. They're trying to ban a lot of these new IPOs from happening. Would BABA even be allowed to list today if they were not listed in the U.S.? I don't think that they would. So maybe now we do have a couple entities here that are listed in New York and, you know, North America, including even Tencent. I like TCEHY. I like Nintendo. I don't really like DD because I'm not sure what's happening there. But, you know, some of these bigger names, I mean, here's TCEHY. Always got to, you know, five symbols is always a little bit confusing. But this is Tencent. I mean, if you look up this company here, you'll see the kind of quality that they have behind their earnings power. It's just, do you believe in what's happening right now over there? Do you believe and trust the Chinese government? I know that's a hard thing to do for a lot of us, but hey, these stocks have been too beat down, in my opinion, to hold back. We know what China's all about there. I mean, they're obviously one of the strongest and fastest growing nations. Their GDP numbers, everything seem to be pretty solid. You're going to now head back into a school season. I believe there's more purchases coming. And, you know, if we can get the port situation figured out, some of the trade wins behind us, then I think there is a rebound here in some of these Chinese names. I forget what the Chinese 100, there's a big cap Chinese ETF. It's CNI, something like that. Is it CN? Did I get that right there? I don't know if I did. But anyways, we will. I'll find. No. That's Canadian National. What am I talking about? We will find out what that is, and I'll get back to you. But that's KWEB. Never heard of that. But that was the Chinese internet names. I don't know. Looking
that was
more
the internet
on the
ETF. That was a Chinese internet ETF.
Yeah.
So if you want to play the Babas and the what is it? The JDs and the Baidus, and you'd rather play them as a whole group, then KWEB is your ETF.
FXI.
There
That's
you go.
what it is. My bad. Yeah, someone just put it there.
Okay, so one of the let's take a quick look at BABA. I'm looking at BABA, and this is a 30-minute zoomed up. Again, I zoomed out. I want to see the structure of how this works and where we're going to run into some issues. We're right here, right around 170 and change. We've got a lot below us in terms of support. I mean, we've got 168, maybe some 166s. There's a lot of gap. Until we clear 158, there seems to be some pockets of support that you're going to run into on the short side. So I'm going to stay away from BABA for the day. But what I would like to do is take a look at Baidu, because Baidu is actually setting up, because of its run recently, it allows for some downside movement here. Below 161, you can actually take a shot at the short side. I'm going to wait for the open. There's not a whole lot of trading being done, so I do want to see how the open comes in on Baidu. But if we can stay below 161, I think a short is in play, and you can work that short at least down to about 159 before you hit some support. And then you can even try to squeeze that, or the market can try to take this down maybe towards 158 and change before we really hit some major support. So for now, I'm going to keep an eye on Baidu on the short side below 161. That's my name of choice in that sector for today. Brendan's at the screen with upgrades and downgrades.
A number of interesting ones on here once again today, guys. A few of them that reported, both HPE and DocuSign, obviously with earnings. with upgrades, price target increases. I just noticed Aurora Cannabis getting a price target increase. Pager duty at the bottom there as well. Nothing terribly exciting on the downside here. This VIPS.com, VIPS, if you remember, getting a downgrade again from UBS. Guys.
So I did find, so cannabis names are getting an upgrade. That seems like a good opportunity to sell them. They've been actually moving quite nicely over the last little bit. So I do want to talk about some of that. My favorite continues to be CGC. My best one has been TrueLeave, TCNFF, I believe, or TRUL in Canada. Again, the MSO, the multi-state operators, is where you want to be on that space. And I do want to look at grow generation brands. I actually didn't look at that over the last couple of weeks there, not being here. And then we haven't talked too much marijuana or cannabis. But okay, this is the FXI here. Thank you to someone on the chat that mentioned that, or a few of you did, so thank you so much for that. I don't know why I said CNI, Chinese National, but that doesn't make any sense. But it's FXI. I'm glad I knew about it, and I'm glad you guys did as well. And I think this is a little safer. Now that I think about this, instead of investing in one company, you can invest in them all. So, I mean, 10-cent holdings, and I think it's an iShares, so 10-cent holdings there is a big one. That's the one that we just talked about if you don't want to, or maybe you don't even have, it's iShares. You may not even have access to some pink sheet trading. So, this is a good one. This is listed on the NYSE American, formerly the Amex exchange there. But these are some of the holdings. There's Alibaba. So just these two alone is good enough for me. That's going to be 15%. I guess it's like 16% there. JD is in there. I'm not sure. This must be a huge company. Meituan, I don't know anything about that. So as you go, Xiaomi is there as well, the cell phone maker, and also device maker. So as you're going, Bank of China. I mean, I can go on and on here, but it doesn't really matter. This is what we're talking about here. It's FXI, and I do like that name. And then if you look at the chart of FXI, I mean, here's the fall from grace. It's not that bad. Like, if you were in an Alibaba, you almost got chopped in half. Well, you basically did get chopped in half. The same thing with Billy, JD, things like that. And if you're sort of a little bit more conservative, but you do want to play some of this rally to the backside, I'd imagine it's not a high dividend if it's one at all. But this looks pretty good here. Getting back to its 50-period moving average. I'm a buyer of the FXI. Maybe not today, but definitely soon. I do want to put some of that in my pocket. I am also wondering about NTDOY. It's funny, I wasn't even thinking about talking about some of these Chinese names today, but Nintendo here also, I've talked about this one when the chart, when the charts will load, it loads FXI again there. But we talked about this just Monday. So if you had that at 58, congratulations, because you're going to open up at 62 today. So that's been a nice rally. We did talk about this early on in the week. Let me know if you bought it. I had a bid down here at 56. We talked about that. That never got filled. But nice little rally back for Nintendo. I believe in that name.
Yeah, what's funny is that when you talk Nintendo, the symbol that you have for Nintendo, because I used to trade Tokyo. I remember them, they're all by numbers, right?
Right, yeah.
They don't have letters. I feel like 7984 is, so I could be wrong, but that number, for whatever reason, sticks in my head. But yeah, Tokyo has, instead of letters, they use tickers with numbers. It's typically four numbers. Tencent is one of the bigger names, obviously, in Tokyo as well, and so is Nintendo.
Yes.
So what is it?
7984 is Kokyo Company Limited
on the Tokyo Stock Exchange. I was not right. It was the wrong one. But Nintendo, I do remember it being a huge, like one of the largest prices in Tokyo. Anyways, I've got nothing to say about that. Brendan, what do you have?
All right, we'll jump into. I was just checking on that because there was a time when I was also doing that as well. I just remember SoftBank all the time, Arun, but 9984, remember 9984 as well? That was SoftBank. Anyways, I digress. Let's talk about what's moving around in the pre-market this morning, guys. As we mentioned, it's a little bit quiet heading into the long weekend on a Friday. But if you are looking for the morning note, that is the link where you can find it absolutely free to you every morning. We come on at 8:30. Let's get into it, guys. We have a few to talk about here. DD Global made a bit of a move early in the pre-market. We're kind of slowing down here currently, but Beijing. It was actually a Bloomberg reporter who tweeted that the Beijing city government was thinking about possibly taking this company private.
Ooh, okay. What do we have? Let's immediately look at some potential upside movement. All right. That's the 30. It looks like it's trending up across multiple days, so we'll leave that alone. Zoom this out here. What do we have? A nice little push in the aftermarket. at the close there based on that news. So here we are sitting around 31.50. Now we're backing off into 30.5, just underneath 31. If we can get back above 31.50, I think you play the extension, right? This would just kind of give people a chance to digest this, whether this can be actually done, whether this is actually worth it. And then if that's the case, 31.50 goes, you're going to get some support, you're going to get some volume that came in on the sell side and got rejected. At that point, you've got to go for the shot in the extension. And I think 31.50 is the price point that I would look at FUBO on. I actually didn't have FUBO on my list, but I am going to enter that on my alert system for now and see if we can't get up there. If we don't get up there, though, that's the only trade I'm going to leave for the stock. If we don't get up there, I'm not going to trade it. That's straight up the way I'm going to play this one.
Yeah, the news there on FUBO, of course, is that they're getting the Arizona Department of Gaming license coming through. So good look there on FUBO. As far as DD is concerned, I mean, yesterday DD can go straight into where's the gates of hell here? I mean, I don't want to say everything should go into hell. That's not the gates of hell. This is Bitcoin. Oh, there it is. Anybody holding Bitcoin, congratulations. We'll hit the right one this time. Yeah, yesterday, DD, look, we tried the same thing yesterday. We tried this break long, and then we got destroyed on the break long. So, you know, we thought early off in the pre-market here that we were doing the same kind of, it was basically the same story. I mean, now it's just confirmed, and we do get that reporter like Brendan was talking about. But I thought DD was off yesterday, and then this happened straight to the downside. So I wonder if people are going to sell one more time this pop to the upside, and whoops, and maybe that line doesn't mean anything, and maybe not believe in this move. So, you know, we could watch, actually that's the line of rate where we're trading right now, 930. You know, 940 is the high side there. I don't mind a short. I mean, we got hit yesterday. The short did come through. Remember we were defending this 9 area, and then eventually it just dropped down. It wasn't a violent move, but again, on a $9 stock, when you're moving that 80 cents or so, that's decent, right? That's, you know, that 8% of a move to the downside there. I still think if we can come into this area one more time, 870, 880, 890, we may have some dip buy opportunities there. I'd rather dip buy NEO. That's my favorite Chinese stock to trade. Obviously, it was the trade of the day, and I've just been doing really well on that playbook, so I'll look to rinse and repeat that. But right now, I'm talking about $880, $9 here as a dip buy for DD. Let's check out the imbalance locator quickly here, and we can see if it's even on here. UMC, okay, there's DD. So it is the number 2 on the list. These are very disappointing numbers considering we did have a jobs report today. I was expecting to see some M's, not K's, and I don't know if that's going to come through or not, but we will wait to see what happens as we get closer. But for me, DD is going to be a watch. I want to watch it go back down to $9. If I miss the take here on the upside, then I'm going to miss it. So I don't really want to go long DD. I've tried that numerous times and it has failed. So I'm going to step aside and let the professionals trade DD, and I'm going to wait. I do want to talk about Clover as we go. We will get to that. I've been a buyer of that name all the way down as well. So we will talk about Clover, but there's a few more things on our list.
Yeah, we're still in positive territory. Let's get a check of the overall market first. We've had a little more time to digest this jobs number that was out at 8:30 there. If you missed it, huge miss on the August non-farm payrolls number. But Arun, we're still basically right where we started.
Yeah, and that's typically the situation when it comes to these interpretation exercises, right? These jobs numbers are all about what's the Fed going to do, and is a bad number good or is a bad number bad? Well, bad number seems to be bad for a little bit, and now we're coming right back in. It doesn't even matter, and then this market may just be like, oh, you know what, it's a good thing. And we go right through the top. So at this point, there used to be a time where I used to trade these numbers, and then it got really confusing and really difficult because it was no longer about the numbers and became more about the actual interpretation and what this would mean in the future, and especially related to interest rates. Well, at this point, that's all we can do, right? Just mark off some levels, see if we can't trade it after the market opens. Right now, though, I've got 45.50. Let me actually zoom this out here. That's a 5-minute chart. I want to give you guys a structure of what this looks like because it's a multi-day structure here. 45.50 on the top end. That's what I'm looking at right there. 45.10 on the bottom end. Anything in between I would consider to be range trading. So if you're going to go for the range trade, 45.25 on going down, you're going to find support. Go for a long if you get the setup. And up here, I think anywhere north of 40 or even around 40, I would be open to the idea of going short, but it does need to set up. So both sides need to set up before you go for the trade in front of the level. And of course, if you break the level, then you can go for the breakout or try to play for the breakout. As I talk about breakouts, Sava, remember I said I was looking for shorts? I pulled the order on Sava because they were trying to catch a bid. They were catching a bid down below 59. And I'm like, and they got as low as 58, but now we're coming back in. Just keep an eye on Sava. This is another range trade that I'm looking at as well, right? 66 on the top end. I'm open to the idea of shorting it inside this range, but for now it is bouncing strong off this 58 and now back towards 61. So as the market's coming up, so is Sava. Even though it has really nothing related to it, I think that's just a coincidence at this point. They're doing their own thing. But keep an eye on 45.50 on the futures, guys. That's going to be the level to play with. If you want to go for a short or go for the breakout, it's going to be with 45.50. And of course, if we get down through 25, you may be able to use the 10s as well to help out on that trade.
All right, let's go to PagerDuty. One of the earnings reports from aftermarket yesterday. Nice move here for PD in New York. Up, it was more than 15% here. Holding though, right at $50. We haven't been here since way back in February of last year. So it's been a while for this thing. Up nicely here, guys. After a solid earnings report, it's a software as a service company. At least 5 brokerages out with price target increases on this one today as well.
You know, what's funny is when I saw the name for this stock, I thought Brendan put it up as a joke because of chat talking about my BlackBerry and how I carry a pager. But it's an actual stock. Okay, PagerDuty, here we go. Technically, what am I looking at? 49 even is what I'm looking at in terms of potential support. See, it's a nice strong move, and now we're kind of, there's not a whole lot of volume you can work with anyways. It's pre-market, it's a thin market. What has this stock done? I don't even know what the stock has done in the pre-market. 178,000 since our servers came up at 6 a.m. So not a whole lot in the pre-market, but I am looking to see how much support we're going to get below 50. So I'm going to say 49 is going to be the marker I'm going to work with. If we can hold strength above 50, then you could, and I mean you could, this is not a high priority stock for me. It's up 13%, but it's also one of those stocks that's not exactly setting up the way I would prefer. You could argue a support long above 50 if you get that test and then go for a bounce towards 52 and an extension towards some highs. But for now, though, it's just a matter of how are we going to trade these 50s? Because we're coming into the open so close to 50, it's going to be a matter of what does the rush look like at the door when the market opens and the stock is sitting right at 50? Is it going to be just a bunch of sell orders that go through 50 and then can't go anywhere and then bounce back? I would say that's a long. That's a nice little long if they can maintain the sell pressure. But if this is going to be just a sell right through 50 and go right through 49, at that point I would just back away, maybe reassess a little bit, come back to it later in the day when we get more information on how the stock wants to trade. You could also argue that could be a failure. But for now, 50 is like the watch point, and time that with the open. We see the volume coming in at that point. About a few minutes after the open, I think you'll get a pretty good understanding of how to trade this stock. But we do need to see the open on this one.
I'm actually just going to leave it at that. I mean, I don't have much else to talk about. I don't know anything really about PagerDuty or anything like that. And Maroon just hit some levels there. So I think you got to trade names that are going to move, names that have volume. That's a good one today. And I think that you should, if you are looking for that kind of excitement, head over there. I'm going to stick to the playbook.
Let's go to Sphere 3D specifically. We'll talk about some of these squeeze stocks that we've been looking at over the past couple of days, week at least. ANY on the NASDAQ popped up yesterday for the first time in a couple of days. I mean, it has been pretty positive here. Down big time anyways this morning, guys, in the pre-market here. 21%, in fact. We got all the way up there to 12 yesterday. And it was all just, increased chatter on Twitter, increased chatter on social media platforms, pushing this thing around a little bit yesterday. Not as high short interest on this. It's only about 7 or 8% for Sphere 3D, but decent volume again.
Yeah, so I see here, Sean, Sean, what's up? I don't know who Angelo is. He just said my name there. So what's up? What's up, Angelo? What's up to everybody else there? Love me some ANY. Yeah, let's get some ANY right now. What's up, Scott H? You've been with us for a while as well, so shout out to our members there. But yeah, okay, so this is going to be a big trade for me. I'm hoping for anyways. It's only 9:08 right now, but I love this break. It's a multi-day break. It's a chart setup that's pretty much my favorite pattern to go. I do like a few other patterns. We have a chart pattern video coming out this weekend, our favorite chart patterns. But but the multi-day break, I think that was one that Arun covered, but realistically, it's one of my favorites to go. If you ever get something like a multi-day break plus an upgrade or something like that, then I think that that's something that we need to do as well. I see you sample stuff there about AbbVie. I love me some AbbVie. I was buying AbbVie at $60 because I couldn't believe that dividend back then. AbbVie and Square was some of my pandemic purchases along with Disney, and Tesla. But right here, 760, I like this level. I mean, I'm going to use 750 as the level. The real level here is 770. That's the wicks back on the 30th. So look, any makes that huge move yesterday. Forget about it. All the volume was there. If you're stuck up here, I'm sorry. You know, you can't really play that game too much, but there was volume. The last couple times we were around 750. We failed to break it. We may fail again, and if we do, we're going to get out. This is not going to be one of those trades that we're going to try to hold on to forever. I'm just looking for acceleration. Here it comes right now through 750. So this is going to be a trade that you're going to see on board for me. And this is what I mean when stocks go to $11. Have never been there before, and maybe they have. Maybe I can zoom this back out. I don't know where they've come from, but you know, when you get these kind of breaks, I just got to put the stop sign on. You know, it's one thing to take breaks when they're around some of these highs, right? I mean, now we can even go back to July of last year, it looks like, when we had this back to 740 before as well. So any has the ability to run. It did that yesterday. It's done that from $4. I mean, look at the daily chart here on Sphere 3D. I mean, this goes back to August 25th. Every single day is an update, and then we had yesterday. So let's wait to see, or I guess this is today. Let's wait to see what happens here today. This is today, right? Yeah, September 3rd. So every single day, tick, 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 and then a boom back to the downside. So let's see if we can accelerate one more time. And there's that 760, 770 sticking out like a sore thumb one more time. So I like any here, Arun, and I mean, this is just what's been happening today. It's slowly starting to go. So we're going to wait for that acceleration through 750. And yeah, we are going to go long. Michael Travis, everybody on there. I did post up. Maybe Valeria can throw it quickly as we talk. My sticky note is up. And I did talk about space. Virgin Galactic does have some levels on there. Oh, that's wrong. My trade of the day yesterday was Virgin Galactic. It should have been NEO, but all that movement on Virgin, we did talk about that. So find me on Twitter if you want to know some more about Virgin Galactic.
Yep. For me, any is going to be 750 or 6 even. Whichever way we go, I go. If we get above 750, my concern is the amount of volume that we traded on the first. So a couple days ago, there's been a decent amount of volume traded in between 750 and I guess 6 even, call it on the low side. So if we're trading inside that range, I want no part of it. Longs are available, sure, above 750. Shorts are available below 6. Before I say shorts are available, do I have to pay for shorts? Yes, I do. So no shorts for me. But so longs are available above 750. So that's the only trade I'm looking at the moment. And with 6 even on the support side. Anyone who's willing to play on the short side, guys, pay for shorts. Grab your shorts below 6 even if that's your play.
All right, let's go to, I'm laughing to myself about Arun's shorting. Fubo TV, guys, up here in the pre-market. We mentioned they got a license from the Arizona Department of Gaming to operate in Arizona. 3% here for Fubo, but caution, there's a huge level just above us here, 33 up to 34, even 32.50. I mean, a little ways away, but a nice look here for Fubo in the pre-market.
Yeah, I got this mixed up with Didi when you were talking. I was actually looking at Fubo, and I just took your news and put it on this chart because I was thinking, oh, that's probably 31.50, same read. It was the same chart. Didi and Fubo kind of set up in the same way, the same read, right? You want to see this drop back, and then you want to see an extension. 31.50 on the extension through the top gives you that ability to be confident with the move to the top end. Of course, if this breaks 30 before we get to 31.50, I think that trade is void, and then you just walk away from this and look for something else. But for now, Fubo, like I mentioned earlier, 31.50, that's the only trade I'm looking for.
Yeah, okay, so Fubo, yeah, so yeah, I mean, I do know about the share offering on any. So, I mean, it's just, you know, we know why it's down, and we'll just have to wait to see what happens. You know, whatever, I'm still going to stick to my levels, and if it does break above 750, then we'll worry about what the action is on that. I probably won't hold this back through 7, so that's the one thing there. And I just want to let everybody know we know that why that's down. So we will still watch that, and I've taken that into consideration. I just think that once the market opens, man. I mean, whether or not our education of you guys and you, I mean, I think that we have the best team around, not only team here, but also viewers, where you guys are giving us that knowledge. There's a lot of traders out there that don't understand that kind of stuff, so they may just buy it up regardless, and I think that's what's going to happen to ANY. So we'll wait for that. I just paid for some shorts. It's 6 cents a share, so maybe a little bit too expensive there for a $7 stock, but I paid for it anyways because I am willing to go long. Look, Fubo TV here. The reason why I want to pay for shorts is I go long so I can put multiple offers out there so I can have more shares ready to short if I need to and still have my long, so I can reverse it into the short. So that's why. So Foremarket 4% up at its highs today. Fubo a little bit higher than that at 31.50 off a new deal from the Arizona Department of Gaming. Fubo TV's come off the bottom already, and I just think that that 16, 14, 15 were doubled from its bottom in May. You are kind of barcoding a little bit here. What a great bottom this was at $24, $25. Easy to say that now. I'm not really interested in a stock like this until we can get above some of these key levels here. $35 maybe is something that we'll talk about, but we're only at 30.60. So let's go over to a minute chart. You can see here, just falling down. I believe this is a short before it's a long. I don't think this is a great news piece here, but again, they're doing the right thing. It doesn't have to be one piece of news that drives the story for Fubo. A 7-minute chart gives you the same thing. Look at this move from the upside. We just talked about getting long at 24. That was only a couple days ago that you were here. So momentum is definitely your friend to the upside here. Sometimes I wonder if there's buys ahead of news like this, like people may know something's up, but there it is to the upside. I would say a break back below here, 30.50, and you probably get that short back into 29 and change. So I don't mind a short in Fubo, and I think that's something that we'll look at if we do break back down below this 30.33 here. Watch out for 31.50 though in case it gets going. I'm interested to find out what the short interest is, and I'm actually gonna, why not? I'm just gonna use trade ideas now. Okay, we just had Michael Noss on. I want to thank him again for that. And again, they have a single stock opportunity here that you can call up the window and just type it in, and we'll see what Fubo says here. The short float, that's what we thought. Still 20.1%. Brendan from the Icon Terminal may have something different, but I bet you it's still going to be around this. So 20% short on Fubo does mean this stock can rally, and that's sort of what's been happening. So watch out if this news is better than I think, and you can get a takeout of 31.50. But if you do go short, don't hold it past this, okay? It could blow up to the high side there. So the next stop could be 34. So watch out for the risk on Fubo, especially with a 20% short interest.
Wow, I think that's the first time these two have been somewhat in line. Yeah, I see 20.8 on the short interest. So yeah, very, very similar. So we've had Netflix. I want to talk about Netflix here in a second, but it's worth mentioning Spotify as well. We can kind of group these the same today. Spotify with a huge move yesterday. Really nice looking chart yesterday. But Netflix, guys, has traded higher 14 of the last 15 sessions, got to all-time highs yesterday. We're basically unchanged this morning, but this daily chart, I mean, 510 down here, tagged 600 yesterday. So monster move very quietly here at the end of summer for Netflix, guys.
Yeah, Netflix has been quite the mover, and Sean was saying that it was one of those stocks that was quiet and then has done a catch-up move in the recent times. So here we are trading just underneath 600. We kind of stalled a couple days ago. We stalled around that 590. We broke through 590, got close to 600, came back into that same support area, and here we are sitting in that same line again. So at this point, first off, this is almost a $600 stock at this point, so it's past my cutoff, so I won't be trading it. But it's very interesting to see how it's going to trade in this support zone, because if they can't maintain this, then you could argue this is like a triple top. And a breakthrough 580 could open up the downside. So it's just one of those things where it's interesting to watch, just to see how the volume is going to come in and trade on Netflix, especially at this price point, right? The move has been nice on a multi-day, and call it a month even. It's been a nice move, but for the most part, it's starting to slow down below 600, and it's just a matter of, is this a consolidation before we do a breakout, or is this just at a point where it's time for some profit taking to be done? And going up into the chat here, Sterling says, would I pay 150 to make 10K? You could argue that, but at the same time, that's not the only stock I would be taking shorts on, right? I wouldn't be paying for just one stock. I'd probably end up paying for almost every short that I see, and at that point, it gets really expensive. So one of my cutoffs is, you know what, if I gotta pay for it, there's something else that can take its place, and I can make money elsewhere. It doesn't have to be just the one thing I see. Given how many stocks we have access to, there's always an opportunity somewhere.
Yeah, and I just want to talk about Impel Neuropharma here as I guess, and I don't see the story. Brendan will probably get this for us in a second, but FDA approval apparently for some migraine. I'm just reading what you guys put on there, so thank you for all of that right now. But IMPL right now up that 62% on that story. Obviously, it's a real one. FDA approval is exactly what these companies need because then they can get bought out, right? So as soon as that happens, you're going to see a company like, I don't want to say any, I mean, I don't know, a company like a Merck or anybody like that could come in, Bristol Myers, someone like that, come in and maybe take out IMPL. So that's why you get this crazy spike. And generally speaking, 52, 55, 70, 80% sort of premiums put on pharma buyouts. And again, it just depends on how big this drug is. But there it is. It just took that out. If you knew that this was going to come today, you could have had a buy order around 25, 26 to take out previous highs. But again, that's what happens. I guess this is probably on their not approval, but on their application process. And then they maybe had some misses there. And then all of a sudden ramping up, probably getting some good news here. And then you can see this. What a great move off the 50-period moving average. Not that matters for pharma stocks, but good move upside on IMPL. As far as the day trade is concerned, I mean, we're just making these levels right now. So I'm going to wait to see what IMPL does, but this is definitely going to be on our radar. We'd like to have it a little bit more data, like Arun was saying. A couple more data points here before we go on this, but a $40 break looks good. Wait till mass media gets hold of this. And again, I don't know anything about the nasal spray, if that's what it is, but thank you to our team here on the chat for doing that. And I did post in there that you can see what happens when you spam, and I don't want people to spam the chat, obviously, but Ms. V is on that, and we will do our best to get to these symbols, guys. So thank you for that, and we will look at that. I'm also looking at any, but here it comes right back to the downside. Just be careful with IMPL until we watch the market open, in my opinion.
That's pretty small, guys. I was just looking. It's about 400 million, 450 million on the market cap. But yeah, here we go. Just resumed after that headline came across. So a migraine nasal treatment coming across there. It's, I mean, a decent float, 12.8 million. These days, anyways, that's a decent float. So heads up on that one. We'll continue to watch IMPL. Wow, all the way back to 35 already for that one. Let's go to DocuSign before we get to some other small caps here. DocuSign, another one with earnings aftermarket yesterday. Higher than expected quarterly adjusted earnings, 47 cents per share versus 40. Revenue 49.6% to the upside. That's year over year. They also increased their forecast going forward. So DOCU, I mean, not a lot of volume here in the pre-market, but worth a look.
Yeah, I will get to DocuSign. I'm actually just sending some orders to get some shorts on the futures. I'm going to offer some in. So futures moving its way back down after 40. I just want to see how much volume we're going to get around 40. There's clearly enough to go for the short. So I'm going to offer my way in and see if I can't grab some shorts before we open. Imbalances come out in about 6 to 7 minutes or so. Okay, DocuSign. I was looking at DocuSign. This was one of those stocks I had on my list. I was like, okay, I marked off 302. Up to 304. The reason I had put up 304 and change was because of the spike that we got off yesterday in the aftermarket. Here we are as we approach that, and the fact that we rejected that once again makes me feel like, you know what, that area is going to hold well as support. Let's just make sure it's not just that area, and we can actually go a little bit further. Let's pull up the 30-minute chart, multiple days. Okay, you see it running into 304, 306 and change. Oh, wow, futures just took off 10 points. Brandon, can you check if there's any news coming out? Because this is an aggressive move on the futures.
I will have a look.
Yeah, so while Brandon's doing that, I've still got the offer. Hopefully I can grab a short there at some point, because that's almost a 15-point move off the top in about 5 minutes, 6 minutes or so. Okay, 304 and change. That's where the resistance is sitting. So the fact that we bounced off of this tells me that this area is going to hold as resistance. As we come back underneath 298, I would love to go short at this point. Problem is, the risk on this is going to have to be above the high, which is going to be about 308. You can even argue 307. Do I want to put up almost $9 in risk on this trade? That seems excessive because you'd run into support around 294, 293. So I'm going to stay away from this for now. But it is interesting to keep an eye on, guys, maybe for another day. If we come back above 300 and we start to stall out, that might be worth a shot. If you see the read at that point, just understand that this is setting up. It's a multi-day setup, and as you see it, just mark it off, and maybe you can trade it another day. You can watch it another time and see if you can't get that trade another day because the risk is excessive. You know, it'll be hilarious though if this thing comes right back up, sets up on the sell side, and comes right back up into that range, so we can actually short at some point today. But for now, though, it is moving aggressively to the sell side, and we're starting to see some acceleration from 299 all the way down to 296.5 as the open gets closer. We're looking at DocuSign, by the way.
Yeah, I know. I saw the DocuSign, and we talked about DocuSign yesterday, and I thought that their guide might be the problem for them, but apparently they guide a little bit higher. So DocuSign. There was a 21-point implied move in the options market yesterday, and obviously with a 50-cent move, we're going to pass on DocuSign. I don't see much there. I would rather it be running around like crazy. Arun, that high was pretty much the thing to short. I mean, we just talked about that up to 310, and whether or not it breaks that or not is going to be. We'll see what the market does. I don't know what happened to the futures there. Yeah. We just saw a big dip down. It could be just Friday selling. It's the September. We talked about the September effect yesterday. It's historically the worst month in the market. So maybe people are just getting, that rhetoric behind them right now and getting it over with as the futures continue to go to the downside. I just want to check back on any, as that's not moving right now. This is just a daily chart. Oh, it's moving, but not really in the area that we want. We're concerned about a 750 break, and I want to address quickly. Sometimes we get these super chats and we can't see them fast enough, but we'll do this quickly. MMAT, thank you so much to Shane D for the $5. Look, I mean, no matter the super chat, I'm going to try to attend all of them. We are working on getting the super chats to flash on the screen, so hopefully that can come through as well. And then that will help us also identify them a little bit better. But okay, MMAT here, meta materials. We talked about this yesterday, and where this could go. There wasn't too high of a short interest on it, I believe, but we checked that, and I thought it was like 2 or 3% on MMAT, but okay, 585. This is today. We're up that 6%. We did get a nice little rally yesterday. Let's check a 7-minute chart quickly on MMAT just to give you guys the analysis there. So we're rate bouncing around these same levels that we already took out. This 580, very, very interesting because we tipped out on that on the 30th. There was a lot of meme days that topped out on the 30th. So if this is going to be a meme Friday, then watch out again for MMAT taking out 580. Actually, I don't mind. This is actually, you know what? How much volume is this? 3.5 million shares? Okay, now I'm getting a little bit excited because 540 as a bottom might be something there. So I think if you take a 580 long, you have a 540 out. This to me is worth that. So I'm gonna go long here on MMAT, just thinking if this is one of those days where we do get that early spike. I mean, yesterday in the morning, look at this. We broke this area of 470, banged it up to 520, 530. The same thing happened on this crazy day here when we started banging it from 5 up to 550. So let's see if we can't rinse and repeat that same action here, taking out pre-market highs and not even pre-market highs, but yesterday's high of 580. We'll see if that can come through. So that's my small little analysis there on meta materials.
All right, a few little ones. Bottom end of the list this morning again, APOP. I want to talk about that one. Israeli-based company. They have some technology for bone marrow transplants. Their technology was used successfully for the first time in one of those transplants yesterday. This thing had already been, I wanted to mention, had already been kind of moving higher for a few days ahead of this. So we get the pop this morning, 65%. It's well off the highs, very, very thin. This is a low float stock as well, only around 3 million shares. 10 was the top, 850. Very, very clear support, needs to get back below 850, guys. There was a headline on Apple there that brought down Apple shares. Didn't see anything significant on the market, but a heads up on Apple as well.
Okay, well,
yeah, that was 18 minutes ago, but I mean, I guess that was 8:18. I mean, people could have just seen that, and it was just the fact that they decided to take. Oh no, that's nothing. Oh, that's not the news. I don't think. It was just that they're going to look into that child. What they're doing is, they said they're going to basically create an AI that scans sort of the uploads to the Apple Cloud and to the iCloud. So what they're going to look for, of course, was it's just such a stupid topic, but they were going to look for, abusive pictures and things like that. So I don't even want to talk about it.
Let me talk about UPS.
Sure, let's go.
There was a super chat asking you about logistics, and they were mentioning FDX, FedEx, and I looked at the chart. I'm like, well, FedEx seems to not be doing a whole lot, but UPS is actually kind of rotating back around. So let's take a look at UPS on the setup here. This is a 30-minute chart about, I want to say like maybe months worth of action here. And you see this basing out around 193, 192, and then 200 is sitting right up here. So we are kind of like moving our way slowly back towards 200. So you can argue for an extension on UPS to the upside. Keep in mind there is a Christmas shopping season coming up, so some of these names may get that pressure. And if we were to go back into not a great time with the current situation with the virus that's going around, you may have more supply and what's called deliveries and whatnot, delivery services being used a lot more. Almost like a non-reopening play, or the opposite of a reopening play, a closing play, or a lockdown play, even call it. So it's one of those things where the chart is setting up at the right time. It's going into September. It's going into the holiday shopping season as people are anticipating. I mean, from the trading side, obviously people are trying to jump ahead, right? In front of the 3:30, in front of the December holiday season. Obviously people are trying to jump ahead. Black Friday's coming up, shopping season coming up, and September would be the time when traders try to get involved ahead of time. So just keep an eye on UPS. In front of 200, it's kind of rotating its way back around. And here we are kind of working our way today again at 198 near the high end in front of that 199. So just be aware, UPS is got a multi-day setup that could be good for a long-term, well, not long-term, but like at least for the rest of the year as we go into the holiday session.
All right, guys, we're only 10 seconds away right now. Let's hit the countdown. We are less than 10 seconds now. Wow, that countdown takes 5 seconds to load. I got to know that. And we're only 3, 2, ignore that countdown, and 1. Hit that bell area as we get ready to rock and roll. That countdown's a little bit off. We're watching Virgin Galactic here. We'll see if that can break down through off the sticky note level of 25 even. Yesterday, we resisted that break, so we'll see if it happens one more time here today as the market looking to rebound a bit here off the open. No positions yet for me.
Yeah, no positions yet for me, but I'm trying to figure out what do I want to do with the futures, because at this point, it went all the way to 22 off the open. Okay, I want to go short, but man, if this bounces off, because this would have been the second support point. So if we bounce strong off of this, do I still want to be short? I'm not sure, because then I could argue for the long case. So let me cancel my order. And let me reassess on how we're going to play the next few minutes before I decide to go short, because I still like the idea of a short. It's just a matter of, are we going to actually get a chance to go short with the right momentum on our side? Because the last thing I want to do is go short and this thing runs right through 40 and into the 50s. That would have to be the stop. So I'm looking potentially at a 15-point stop on a short off the futures. We just bounced off some support. So let's get some more info before we decide to go for this short. But that is something I'm looking at. What else popped off on my radar? Let's look at BNTX. Okay, BNTX, I believe we were trading this name earlier, or at least I know this was on the radar for a little bit. BNTX through 326 and change is very thin. So this is one of those things where you need some more trading done, but definitely if we can maintain below 326, I think you've got a chance to go for the short on the breakdown. Where's the chart? Let's pull up the chart here, and this is the multi-day breakdown on BNTX, right through this level here. So if we can maintain this, and it's all about maintaining, because when the stock is this thin, you definitely need to get some more activity done before you can go for the short.
We're in MMAT. Yeah, good analysis there. We're in MMAT right now. We'll try to Gronk spike this one down. We'll get it a little bit out here at 6. We're long at that kill level that we talked about, that 585. We also tweeted that level out, so I hope some of you guys are looking at that one. We'll see if we can get it. I mean, it's not a win until it actually comes through, right? So we'll wait to see if that's going to happen right now. But right now, MMAT, first level of offer here, 99s. We're just going to wait to see. There it is. Bang, right there. We'll take a little piece off. We're going to wait for more, but hey, man, we'll a win is a win. We'll hit the cowbell for everyone to wake up, and we'll see if we can't get a nice little winner here through $6 on MMAT Metamaterials. There it goes. Nice win here to the upside. Our any went as well, so we're long any right now at 51. So here, this one goes. Man, it's been a good day so far, Arun, on some of these names starting to move a little bit here.
Yeah, talk about a name that's moving a little bit that I had an alert for it, but I never got a chance to look at it because there were so many that were going off at the same time. MDB. I had 460 on the breakout. See if I can't play that extension. We had quite the move from 400 all the way up to 450 yesterday, and then here we are. Breaking 460, it's already at 480. I think that trade's gone. That window was the window for that trade was so small that if you caught it, you were good. If you weren't, if you were busy like me looking at the futures, there's no way you were catching that. So I just pulled that off. Another one that just popped off for me in the radar here potentially is Baidu. Remember, we were talking about this as part of my list or the stock that I wanted to focus in the Chinese sector here.
Look at,
What are you looking at? I'll talk about this and you can go to MMAT.
Yeah, go
163, we're finally above here. We're waiting to get some more action, maintain strength. If we can, I think you take a shot at the long. 160 even is going to be the stop. You do have to worry about 165 slightly, so you may be out of risk. You're risking $3 and you may run into resistance in 2. So I may even pull the order down a little bit just below 163 just to control the risk on this trade. But I am looking at how well we trade above 163 before I go for the long.
Man, it is good to be back. Thank you, Arud, for holding fort for us all week. And Neil will be back on Tuesday. Look at MMAT. We'll say WTF, and thank you so much to everybody for hollering at this one. MMAT, what up, Miss V? Thank you for the coffee. We like that. MMAT, a big run to the upside right now. So we hit that one. Good. We'll see where we go. And we just did tweet that one out. And again, hopefully you guys can follow us on Twitter, and you'll be able to have this. This is the sticky note right here that we just tweeted out, and then we added it. MMAT 6 minutes ago. Long break of 585 up to 680 and change. So right now we'll say that went well there, and you can see that tweet there on MMAT there. Nice little win for us right there on that one. And again, unlike a lot of other channels, we're going to give you these trades. We're going to tell you them before we take them, not after we take them, and there we go to the upside. Now, the other story here is any. We got out of only a third of this trade for only 10 cents because it really stopped moving, and not even 10 cents. I mean, a couple of them, my first out was at 60, then it started bouncing around, and then I started getting out 57, 58s. As you noticed, it didn't take it, but my out's going to be down here at 7. So we will lose 50 cents on this if it doesn't continue its move to the upside here. So ANY, I'm not in love with this trade anymore. I thought the break would spark that through. I do know about the share offering, and this trade is the one that's falling down right now, ANY, but we'll try to hold some MMAT, and we'll just get out at flat. So we'll already take our, it's small, but that's 15 cents, and then there is 60, 25 plus 15 again. So there's another 40-cent win. We did have 70 cents, but we left that on the board. So we'll get out if it does break back down below right here, maybe even $6. Let's get out if it breaks back down below $6, and then just say, you know what, we tried, we held the last third, and it just didn't go. So good trade here for MMAT. Thanks for those that brought that to our attention.
Yeah, one trade that I just got into, and man, is it thin. Wow, okay. UPST, I'm long just above 246. I thought I had enough action to work with on the buy side here. The bids are dropping off right now at the moment, but the stop is going to be sitting just below. Where's the stop? Is sitting just below 244 into the 243 area. So we are looking 246 long with the 244, 243 stop. I'm going to have to account for some slippage as well, given what the level 2 looks like. Just so you guys know, this is what the level 2. No, that's the Baidu level 2. UPST right here, guys. It is not a good look when it's this thin. Done 200,000 shares, 290,000 shares. And this may be a problem, but I like the trade. I feel I can get out of it too, so if I need to, by paying the spread. By the way, the spread is like 70 cents. So bidding and offering is the only way you want to get out, but if you have to, I guess you pay up the spread and you force your way out, but it could become a problem if it goes bad. But for now, though, I do feel confident with the read. I waited long enough to get the confirmation, meaning the volume above 246. I think I have enough, so let's see if we can get to 250 with UPST on the upside. Another one that just came off for me now is Square. What is Square doing? Oh yeah, Square broke down. Okay, Square's already gone. Actually, this trade may be over.
Yeah, the futures you got to watch out with Square, bet.
Futures. Yeah, you know what? I want to go short, but I want it into the mid 30s before I go for the short, just because we're sitting at some support on the futures. The window for the short on the futures was if you caught it at 40, you may have had a chance. If you were trying to, like me, I was waiting for mid 30s, no chance, because as soon as they took the mid 30s, they were gone into the mid 20s. At which point we're sitting on support on the futures, right? So Square, going back to Square, well, Square is one of those stocks where it is breaking down through 265. And I was looking for a break. Well, I wasn't looking for a breakdown. The alert system was going to be put up underneath 265, just so I can see how it trades here, if it can hold well. And this is critical too. I've learned this by trading Square in the last few times here, that you need a wider stop on Square just because it's very whippy. So 265, if we can trade below and maintain 265, I would come in 269 and change as your stop. So it's going to cost about $4 or so to go for the short on Square, but I want to get some action. I want to get some confirmation before, volume confirmation before we go for the short. But Square is one of those trades I do want to see. on the short side. Brendan?
A couple things. Just saw Asana, guys, back on a volume scanner there. All-time highs again this morning for ASAN. This one as well. So this is the VIH. Anyone seeing this VIH? This is a SPAC. They're talking about a buy now, pay later company from Southeast Asia in a deal with this VIH, which is VPC Impact Acquisition Corporation. So VIH in the possible buy now, pay later space, guys.
Yeah, so here goes any right back down to 7. It looks like this will be 50-cent hit on the rest of our trade here, unless it somehow bounces back off here, but that is ANY. And then what we did have there, thank you for asking me for the levels on Virgin Galactic. We shorted $25 there. This is 20 cents in the money. We've taken out 30% of this trade so far as we go to the downside. Sorry, 40% as we go to the downside right now. So let's wait to see how far down space wants to go here. And that's about it. Oh, our MMAT, not as good as it could have been. It does break that 6 and we get out, but we did hit that. I mean, this is a win is a win. We're putting that in our pocket. If you want to hold that, you can. For me, it's a pass on the hold. So we'll wait for that. 25 cents now in the money on Virgin Galactic. Checking out a daily chart here. We could even break this bottom. So I'm going to hold this and see if maybe we have this one now by the, you know what's here, and we'll see if that one can come through now. That is Virgin Galactic, hopefully making its move back to the downside, and we have this. Maybe next out 24.70, and then we can hold that 40% left on that one. So that's going to be a good trade as well. Yeah, coming through. And he looks like it did hold that 7. So maybe there's something there. We'll see if we're lucky enough to get that on ANY. But for right now, that's something that I am trying to hold to see if it can go back to the upside. So ANY right now trying to make some moves here. So we're going to hold that and see if it can work out. But for that one, that's what that is. People saying NEO. Yeah, NEO's starting to dump down a little bit as well here. NIO on the move here today, down to 39.90 or so. I'm looking, that's a daily range, sorry. I'm looking at 39.50s as a buy. We're trying to buy the dips on NIO. Rinse and repeat that playbook, guys.
Yeah, one stock that has moved quite aggressively, and we were talking about this. I was like, well, watch it come back in. It may even provide an opportunity today. DOCU, here you go, right off of 296, and now we're at 306, right into that sell point. If you can get past this, okay, I may go for the long. This is the range. We didn't get enough for the short, but hey, we can flip this trade and go for the long. See if we can't clear. Well, I'm looking at this going 306 and change, call it 307. That seems to be the majority. No, 308 is where I'm going to mark it off as the breakout. So if we can get above 308, I'm going to say, you know what, maybe a long on DOCU could be worth the shot. For now, though, wow, quite the move on DOCU. To the upside, almost $10 now, straight off the bottom. Another stock that has come up, BNDX, I talked about. For anyone who's wondering, Roku, yeah, I saw the same read on Roku for anyone who's wondering on the short side. This morning, I had offers in there at 348. This breakdown through 350, this is a multi-day breakdown. This would have been a gold short if I could have gotten it. But you know how things are in the pre-market in these $300 stocks, to get very thin. So I offered, didn't want to pay the 50 or 60 cent spread, and here it is now at 330. So for anyone who's wondering, what do I do with this now? 350, just mark off 350 as a potential level to work with. 360 would be your stop, and see if we can grab a short on the if it ever were to come back up. So multi-day breakdown, keep an eye on this for going forward. Brendan?
Wow, I was just watching this IMPL, guys, just breaking $6 to the downside now. MDB, MongoDB, software company, reported aftermarket yesterday, 400, now 500. So 400 yesterday at the close, now $500, up 23% for MDB.
Okay, I did want to make sure, yeah, that IMPL, good look there. That was a little bit strange how much that one, not strange. I mean, we talked about this, getting involved in this and the pre-market when you guys were spamming the chat there, which was fine, not just a little bit too much, but IMPL, we talked about that, waiting to see if there's any data points that are going to come through. I got to watch out here because I'm going to hit that coffee one day if I don't move it up here. Yeah, so we're going to watch out for IMPL coming back in. No real levels. We've already taken out that sort of where the move started from, 28 and change. But yeah, what a good move to the downside. That would have been the breaking spot right there, 33, where we bounced off a couple times and then finally broke it. So that was, in my opinion, the good short there. Unfortunately, guys, we do. I was going to say S the bed, and you can figure out what the S is there. As any just didn't really, come on charts, any didn't follow through. That's why we sort of were able to get out a little bit, and I know a lot of you probably weren't able to get that out. But now we're going to take a long if it breaks back above 710 right here, and then just see if that is the true bottom. This is going to be only a 20-cent worth of risk here, so I do want to take another position long, basically the same position again, and there it is. So hopefully we get in. There we go. So now we're in on that 710 break, and I'm just going to use this 690 as a bottom just in case this was getting out paper hands like myself. We will get back in and just suffer here on that play. So now we got to get back up here just to make our money back on this trade. So we're going to use 690 as the bottom, and that's going to be the end of it for me with ANY, especially if this doesn't work out. I'm not going to keep chasing putting good money after bad.
Yeah, one thing I'm looking at now is my UPST position. Well, it's approaching 250. There was some decent size there, so I got out just in front of 250 just in case that were to spin the stock back around. So here we are, 246 long, just out in front of 250. That's a $4 winner. Now it's about $4.22. It's climbing. It's at 251. Here we go. The runner on UPSC has started, and this is great because we were looking for the breakout through 246. We were risking about $3, about $3.50 to $4 actually, to be fair. And we made the risk back on the first half, and now it's going. Now it's just pure profit, right? Even if this were to come all the way back down and stop me out, by the way, it won't because I moved the stop on this. So there's no way I can come out negative unless this were to crash on me very quickly. But if this were to come back down all the way, let's just say I never moved my stop. If it were to come back down, on my second half, even if I lost on that, I'd still come out ahead because I've made my risk and then just a little bit more. So I would, this trade is now pure profit. As long as it keeps going, I can let this go. You see Baidu running, you see FUTU running. I'm starting to notice a lot of the, apart from UPSC, a lot of the Chinese name that we were talking about, Baidu, what was the other one? Let's take a quick look at it, Baba actually, because I only looked at, Baba's going as well. So Baba's on the 30. Let's move that chart to a 5-minute chart. And here we go. Baba's going, Baidu's going. But like I said, I'm going to focus on Baidu because for me, Baidu is setting up a little bit better. Technically speaking, we are kind of working this little 161. If we can just stabilize, I would expect it to back off this 164 a little bit. Now I know I can use 160 as a support, and it's just a matter of finding a trade somewhere in the 162.5 area. If we can get this thing to back down a little bit and then kind of set up on the buy side, whatever setup you use to go trade, whatever setups, however you decide to trade it, we also each have our own way of figuring out which trades we want to go long, right? As you should. So if we can get it back into the 163/162.50 area, then I'd like to be on the long side of Baidu. But for now, it does look like there's a runner across the board. Everything I have on my screen is running up, but so that must mean there must be some other stocks that are going as well that I don't have on my screen.
And that would be Roku, one of them, guys. I just saw flying by there on a volume scanner. Wanted to talk about this one, though. Another little tiny low float company, OLB Group Incorporated, 42 million market cap, 4.5 million free float. It's already halted once this morning, up 25%. They announced earlier in the week, end of the month on August, that they were getting into the crypto mining space. So data center side, not the mining space, but the data center side of things of the crypto game for OLB.
Okay, we also did take, I mean, anybody that's in the crypto space is going to get that love, from the crypto neighborhood and universe. We did take some NEO there out a little bit there for just small 10, 12, 14 cents. But, back into the Chinese names here with the market trying to rally back to positive. I like NEO. We've seen how strong NEO's been for a little bit. We'll just take off enough there to pay for some fees. And now we'll wait to see where the rest goes to the upside. We barely took off anything, man. We took off like 20% up there. I still believe in this. I think we can get to 41 and change on NIO. We've already sort of been up here before, so I don't have any problem with this. This was just yesterday in the midday where we topped out at 41. So we will take, here we go. Now we're starting to go to the upside again here. We will take some out if we get into the mid 90s, but right now a nice runner for us on NIO. So let's celebrate that one here as we'll go over to the big screen and see what name Valeria has for us. What's up, V?
Hey Sean, Lucid Motors break $19 level. Do you guys see any opportunities for yourself in LCID today?
Lucid Motors. Okay, we'll have a look. We'll have a look there as well.
Take a look at Lucid
yeah, and we'll wait to see. As NEO looking like it wants to break through 41 right now. When my charts do load up, we did see the lockup expiration come through on NIO, or sorry, on Lucid not too long ago. The pipe came through, and yeah, it's just been piping higher ever since then. I know there's some big options plays based on this name as well, so we will look at that. Some nice little runs here on Lucid. I think that we had some nice choppy action here in the morning, and now you're taking off. So what time is it? 9:48 right now. We could get back into this area 19. We'll take a little bit of a longer look on the daily chart. This is what I'm talking about. We were all over this short. We wound up losing on this day, but we did make some money on the short. Now you're trying to bounce back. Remember, this was CCIV, so $20 right here could be something on that one. But there goes NEO. I thought it was going up a little bit higher than that. I thought NEO just broke 41 there, but it didn't. So we'll see if it can continue its march to the upside here. NIO, NE, and then Virgin Galactic did fall back down, but we did take an average there. So we are now back into it. We just took this price. We took that price. We're going to hold this till 25.50. That's what we're going to be wrong on Virgin Galactic, 25.50, guys.
Yeah, I'm looking at Lucid. Thank you for having that up at the right time, because now it was something I was looking at, or I had up, but I wasn't looking at the prices. And it just kind of took off the top here around 1910. Now it's accelerating. I actually like the idea of going long with the 1850 stop. So I have a bid, it doesn't show it here, but I do have a bid down waiting to get filled. Would I chase it? I mean, I get caught sometimes chasing stocks. I have a lot of stocks to choose from, so I'm not going to chase this one, just to control the risk on this. Am I being a little tight with this? Yes, just because, I have so many options, right? So for me, I'm just going to wait and see if I can't grab a fill on a move back down towards 19 even and change. But for now, Lucid to the upside, great setup, great call out there. So let's see if we can't get that. But I'm starting to have a lot of these Chinese names go off now. Now DD is going off on my screen. Why? Let's see why DD is coming off here, because DD, well, it's a New York stock. Okay, DD through the top, through 950. Okay, this is another trade I wanted. Yeah, DD's through 950. This is another trade I wanted. Brendan, what's up?
Another one to look at, guys, from earlier in the week. C3AI reported earlier this week, $50 right here, right now for AI up 4%.
Okay, we're going to take a Palantir as it is breaking through a little bit, this 2660 area. We'll hold this back to somewhere around here in the 40s. We'll see if we can average in. I didn't even realize that this dropped like that off the open. I mean, to defend that 26 area is where we want to be. So that was a good trade there if anybody was able to catch that. But wow, a big move to the downside there for Palantir, and then not taken advantage of, unfortunately, there. But now we'll try it. We'll see. We don't want to get too excited about it, but you know, it's going to be a play that we're going to make. So let's wait to see where it goes. Right now, hopefully Palantir to the upside. More to come on that one. And there goes NE. We'll flush ourselves down the toilet on that one, or we'll just put in the gates of hell with a little bit of cry there, as we were just wrong. We tried the long and it didn't work, and I apologize for that one. We tried it. I thought there was going to be that multi-day break there. I talked about liking this setup, and there it was right there, that 750, 760. It turns out that it just turned right around on it. So damn it, we just went the wrong way. That's all. And unfortunately, that is what that is. But we did fall off on that. Damn it, damn you. That's too bad. I'm sorry about that one, guys. That's Sphere 8 or whatever that is. But SoFi, we talked about that as a possible swing play as well, and that one seems to be coming through. Nice, big move up for SoFi today. It's only 1%, but that's a nice little move to the upside there, about 40 cents straight up there on SOFI. So a good name there. We talked about that one getting off the bottom here, and I think that's going to be a good break. And today it breaks that 15, so that's exactly what we look for. So I think SoFi now off to the races on this gap up play. I'm going to go long on SoFi. I would rather have a pullback, which kind of were happening right now into this level is good. So 518, yeah, okay. Let's do that. Let's take a SoFi bid right now and see where we go, because it did break above, and we have 15 as our out. So we'll wait to see on SoFi right now. I like this trade.
Yeah, let's see what trades. You see me, I'm long on Lucid now, out 3 cents, and I'm long on DD. The trade that we talked about is backing off. The trade on the stop on DD is fairly tight. I don't need to give it too much space. So I got a little bit aggressive, pushed into the bid, pushed into the offer, went at 955, and the stop on this is sitting just below this support here around 940. It's an intraday support. I'm actually going to just move it down a little bit just to give it a little bit more space. But I am looking for an extension here. It doesn't need to be a whole lot of risk. Maybe, actually, I'm going to move it down to 30. So it's going to be about 25 cents on DD, the risk on that long. But if it fails, it fails, but it's worth a shot, I think. It's something that we had up, and you see the remaining stocks in that group all running at the same time. So why not take a shot at it, right? So that's what I've got here. It is coming off a little bit now, so that might actually be a failure. But for now, we are still in this one. Baidu coming off, not a whole lot, but we are long UPST. That's still going well, strong for now. That's about $4.66 in the money. Trail stop has moved underneath 249 and change. Again, it's going to be a little bit of slippage and whatnot, so I'm going to keep a close eye on it, on how far I'm going to have to punch and cross to get my shares. But for now, 248, 249-ish, that's going to be where I'm going to be waiting to profit take on UPST, as this is a $5 winner at the moment. Brendan?
BTCM, one that popped up midday yesterday. Yeah, this is a mining, Bitcoin mining stock as well. You remember this thing had a bit of a move. It was about 2 o'clock yesterday. It halted a couple times up to 13.5. Just took out that high from yesterday, up 12% again, guys, for BTCM.
BTCM, okay, good call there. We will have a look at BTCM eventually here, as it looks like crypto, and I really just look at Ethereum here, bouncing again one more time just a couple seconds ago, and by a couple seconds ago, I just mean, literally a couple seconds ago, taking out these levels, 39.66, and trying to bounce. We bounced off that 4,000, so that's kind of why I'm watching it, to see if we do get that 4K break. Then you can go over, to an ETF or over to Mara or to blockchain or something like that. Let's go over to Mara right now and have a look, because that was the name that we looked at earlier, and we talked about how that looked on that 7-minute chart, straight upside right now. And we talked about if it did break this, we would like it. It doesn't get to 45 though, but it gets to 45.50, taking out that level, and now starting to fall back in. So hey, if some of these names want to extend over Ethereum, BTC, things like that, then this is probably a decent play here with Mara. We'll see if Ethereum can crack 4,000. There was just going to say BTC have several shares of that. Okay, I see you there, Dominic. Thank you so much for the super chat there, BTCM. So let's have a quick look, and I know Brendan just talked about it, so hopefully it's on the New York, like that. Again, like you yesterday, Arun, you're talking about some names that we don't really know too much about. They should be New York and NASDAQ, and they're always different. So there goes BTCM. A nice move to the upside right here, starting to get accelerated again. Big volume there yesterday on the daily chart, and we're starting off today as well. Big moves, big move backside. Watch out for this 18 level coming up soon. Obviously, the low float on this probably as well. 1250, 13 looking to break out here. So BTCM, good on you guys for finding that one, and thanks to Brendan for the news. But here comes Virgin Galactic. Our average in is just so cash money right now on this trade. As you can see, this is what we've done so far today. Nice averages in. We don't take the very top, but now look at this. Out right there, 96 we just got printed. So a couple nice trades here on Virgin Galactic. The only thing that we've screwed up on is ANY, and that's really sucks because we did put on a decent position there. Thank God we were able to get some out, but ANY really is to take a line from Neil, my huckleberry today. NEO starting to go as well, so we just keep taking some out here in the high 80s. Now I think we could be done with that, and now we can wait for the mid 90s, as it looks like that's going to get coming through very, very soon. So NEO on the winner. We're only going to have one loser for us today, and unfortunately that is going to be that ANY. And then right now we are sleeping on Palantir, and we'll just see where that can go. If the futures rally, I want to buy some of these dip back down, so it just touches VWAP. Let's take some more shares here on Palantir. I'm actually going to see what happens at 26. I'm willing to hold this one. We've seen it make some moves down and then back up. We just don't want to miss that. So let's wait for Palantir to make its move back down. We should have just got long instead of talking about it. Let's buy some more Palantir. What's up, Brendan?
Bitcoin really not doing anything, but there's a lot of crypto-related stocks making moves here, guys. I just brought up this HUT8, which is HUT on the NASDAQ, up 10%. Just broke day highs there on a volume spike as well. This thing's been on quite the tear as well. 6 up to 9. 9.5 now for HUT8. One that also our friend Mr. Wonderful has spoken highly of. They're into of environmentally friendly mining, if anyone was wondering about HUT8.
Yeah, one thing I'm looking at, wow, DocuSign. We were talking about that 308, and we were hesitating, and I was looking at it, I'm like, oh, it actually came off that 308 a little bit, all the way to 306. I'm like, okay, if we get to 308 again and we kind of get strong, I can definitely go long on it. And we got there, we blew up anyone who was on the offer, and then right through 310 into 311 and approaching 312 instantly. So keep in mind, this trade was meant to be setting up across multiple days. We were going back a few days on this. Let me pull up the 30-minute chart here. You can see that we were looking at this earlier level, right? 308 was the top end of this, like 304-ish, all the way to 306 resistance area. We kind of backed off of yesterday, and then to this morning in the pre-market. All of that's gone now. So I missed the entry. There's no way I could have caught that entry because the spread itself is fairly high. And then once it gets going, it's gone. So at this point, I like the multi-day move on this. So I'm going to leave the order there, see if I can't get filled. If at some point this should slow down and come back in. If it does come back in, I would like to get filled. I'm still okay with making that play. 308 and change. The stop on this, I would put it just below this hot zone here around 304. So for now, it's going to be a $4 risk and change. Let's see how this plays out. I'm not going to chase this. There's no way I'm chasing this, but it'd be nice to have that entry and see if we can actually play off this breakout on a multi-day point. Futures coming into support. Obviously, there's no way we were getting that short in the mid-30s. So here we are at the 20s. Could there be a long? Maybe. Remember, we're at support in that 45-20 area, right? So I'm expecting a bounce. How much of a bounce? It all depends on the risk that I got to take. If there's a long setup, if the risk is too high, I will not take it. Meaning, because we're in a range, I have to make sure that I can actually get to the other side of the range with the risk that I'm taking. If, say, I'm risking 20 but only able to get 10, then I probably shouldn't be taking that trade, right? So for me, it's a matter of risk management on the future side. As long as we stay in the range, it's going to be very conservative. If we get outside the range, I can get aggressive with it, and I can flip that switch if I need to. But for now, though, we are going to wait on the futures to see whether we can go long or if we can even go short. Because remember, mid-30s, once we get there, I can potentially go for the short as well if we can get a setup there. So 2 trades there I can work with. For now, though, we're waiting, we're cashing in on UPST. Wow, that's a $7 winner at this point. UPST on fire. Once we cross 250, remember, I got out $4 at 250. Here's another $3 on top of that as we keep on going on UPST. And what's the target? Wow. Nothing. There's no target. We're letting this go. Let it go as far as it wants to go, because at this point, there's nothing stopping this stock. If this stock wants to go to 300 today, obviously that's a big estimate, a big move. But if it wants to, sure, I'll carry some shares into it. I've already cashed out. I'm risk-free at this point, so why not, right? Let's see if we can ride this train all the way up. What else do I have here? AMD actually came off on the radar here. Why? Oh.
Yeah, it's taking out that high right now, 111.
AMD. It came off, and I was like, oh, I'll get to it at some point. It was the 110 break, this break right here that I actually, the alert went off, and then I was like, I'll look at it at some point. And then I had other things going on, and then here we are at 111. What do I do at this point? Too late. The trade's gone. It would have been a 110 break, and then you would have risked $1 to make $1, and then here we are already at the target. There's no way I'm going to take anything at 111 or 111.5 or 112 or 112.5. There's no way. This trade's done. And now we're just going to go to Brendan at the big screen.
Hey guys, at 10 o'clock, let's have a look at where we stand. At this point, we are negative for both the Dow and the S&P still. 0.4% the Dow leading to the downside, but the S&P and the NASDAQ as well. Still trying to get back to the upside, 0.25%, 0.18 for the 100 and the composite on the NASDAQ. The Russell small caps negative as well. Here in Toronto, we're about flat overall on the day. A couple of things we were talking about. The first one going to be from yesterday, actually. We didn't get to it in the pre-market, but remember, this happened in space yesterday, guys. Virgin Galactic down again here today, 4.5%, pushing back towards session lows there for Virgin. Spotify as well. Monster level was formed yesterday. You can see this wall. It just wasn't able to trade. What was that? 255.5, I think it was, above that. Wasn't able to trade above that yesterday afternoon. We're testing that level right now for Spotify, guys. Back over to you.
You mentioned Spotify to us before as well. We missed that one. I actually took that 111 break there. So we'll see what happens with AMD as it's starting to go to the upside as well. Okay, here we go, Van. Virgin Galactic, that's going to be a good one. We'll put on our evil laugh for this because, hey, we talked about this. We talked about shorting it into this spot, 25.50. That's exactly what we do. And now you're right back. Thank you, Brendan, for that update there. We are right back to day's low. We don't have any more bids out. I mean, I told you we'd try to hold this one, but then we got filled on the upside, and then we started cashing it out as well. So now 50 cents in the money on this $20 name. So good move to the downside there, and don't really have too many targets. I mean, I can't even zoom this out too much anymore. The one-day target, I mean, we've already looked at this. Maybe we're at some bouncing spots right now at 24, move this over a little bit, at 24.50, 24.70 or so. But I still think that we could crack 24, man. I mean, this is not good for them. Obviously, we heard the rhetoric from them last week, or from yesterday, actually, from the FAA. So we'll wait to see what that means exactly, but it doesn't look like it means anything good. So right now to the downside goes space. So that's going to be a good one for us. Our SoFi, now 5 cents in the money. Not really moving, barcoding, but we do have a nice spot here. It's coming up to the high. So we will take a piece out if it does get to 28, which is coming up very, very soon. That should be a good trade for us. We'll look to see where it goes from here, but hopefully I can get some 28s. Maybe I should take some 27s. We're long at 21. There we go. Do I have a 28? Oh, no, I'm at 29. Damn it. Okay, well, anyways, we're right there right now. A good trade for us on SoFi. Hopefully you do have that one. And if you did, I'd rather have it at 15. But hey, right now it's working for us a little bit. So we'll see if SoFi wants to continue its move to the upside. I thought I had 28. It's unbelievable that 28's print, and I actually have 29s there. So we'll wait on that. We tried to get more Palantir, and unfortunately I was talking about it, but if you got it, that was a good idea right down there at VWAP. And I just missed it, but now we're going to the high side now on PLTR. So everything doing pretty good here, Varun.
Yeah, everything doing pretty good. I just got into a Caterpillar short, so cat short, what do I have? I think 36. Yeah, I got 210.36 on the short side on Caterpillar. So that's the only short I've got. I'm just keeping an eye on the loss. The other trades are pretty much, well, most of them were in the money at one point. They're doing well. Lucid is the only one that I'm really concerned about. Clearly that breakout move. The stop on Lucid is sitting below 1850, looks like, down here. We've got some support. The fact that we instantly rejected that move through 1920, I'm like, is this going to be one of those trap out failures? So do I consider the possibility of going, flipping this trade to a short? That's something I got to keep an eye on as well. But for now, we are long Lucid, and that's the only one I'm really concerned about. Caterpillar is coming back, that's fine. UPST, after hitting 254, is coming back. Again, trail stop is, I should move that trail stop actually. Let's see if we can move this one below. Yeah, we can do something somewhere below 250, see if we can protect more of this. Right now, sitting at 248. We'll move that one down just below 250 and change, see if we can get protect more of that. Caterpillar, wow, quite the bounce there on Caterpillar. Okay, we're okay for now on Caterpillar, but I am short on Caterpillar. The only short, the market is bouncing, so obviously that's not helping the situation. But the stop on Caterpillar is sitting just north of 212 and change. So we're going to leave that alone. It's got a nice little setup that I'm working with. So why not see if we can actually let this trade work itself out. Nope, that's the hotkey. There we go.
What's up?
No, nothing. I'm just waiting for this chart to load on Caterpillar. No, oh, that's the, there we go. Down 88 cents on the day as the 30-minute chart. You can see the range I was working with. Potentially short just underneath 210.5, looking for at least 209 or 208.50. Obviously, if I'm putting up $1.50, I'd like to get $1.50. So the target on that would have been around 209 and change. It is backing off fast now. So for now, we are a little bit in the red on Caterpillar, but we'll hold on to, a lot of these trades aren't going to go right away, and that's perfectly fine. Some of them take all day to go, which is not fun, but hey, it's part of the game. Another trade I just stepped into, AI to the buy side, AI long north of 50. We were bidding in, trying to get in on AI as it, it broke, it took off, and then I wasn't going to chase it through. So I just waited for the pullback, and here we are long on AI, just above 50. Stop on AI is somewhere below 49. So it's about $1 and change. We can get $1. Easily we can get, if we were to run up, we can get at least a 52, maybe 52.5 before we get resistance. So putting up $1 in risk for AI, I think is perfectly fine. I'm okay with this trade. This is a nice little breakout to the top, especially with the round number. So hey, there's one trade for you. Plus the other trade that we got to keep an eye on always, futures. Can we do something? Not just yet. Nice little bounce into the 32, 33 area on the futures. Okay, that's fine. Let's get into the 35, 36s and stall out. At that point, I'd be open to the idea of a short. Long idea is gone, right? We bounced right off the support. So now we're into potential shorts off the resistance. So see if we can't get a play at some point during the day in the mid 30s, even higher if we can get it. But mid 30s is okay with me on the short side for futures.
Okay, so AMD did rip up there. We didn't take it out. It ripped to 1120. We didn't take it out, but now we'll try to learn our lesson and get a little bit out there if that happens one more time. We are going to give this backside not too far, though, like 1130, 1140, 1150 if we're going to be wrong on AMD. But we're waiting for that one. We will average in a little bit as well, 110.60. But I'm nervous now because we might have missed that out. The future is now starting to come back in. So, hey, if we could bottom pick a little bit on AMD, we'll do that. But I think we got to give this back to 110 at least. So I think this is worth $1 there, especially if we get an average in. We'll wait to see. And then that'll give us a nice average price. And then we can play from there. So I think I wish I would have had something up there to at least take a piece out, but we thought AMD was going to run a little bit more. And then again, when you're talking about looking at NASDAQ names, especially high tech names that we know have high betas to the NASDAQ, when this dip happens, your stocks aren't going to be winners on that dip. So all we do is try to buy some dips and strong names. And then if it does reverse, then we do get that nice little win there, including what we did on NEO, right? I mean, that's the same thing that just happened here. NEO dips all the way down. We basically emptied it all out. That's why you're going to see now my average price is great, 40.60 as opposed to where it was before, 70. So we averaged in a little bit there. We just took some out at 65. So now we'll see if we can get back going up to 75 in this area again, which we're at right now. So that should be a good one. Let's empty out a little bit more. We're long at 60. All we're doing is collecting the money here. It's like a dividend payer, NEO is apparently. Anyways, for me, it just seems like we just keep cashing in. What's up, Brandon?
I mentioned this Asana earlier. Here we go again. Another day high just made there, on a volume spike as well through 93.30 there, 4.7% now. Another all-time high for Asana.
His favorite stock, Asana, in play today, Sean.
You're dead to me. Yesterday, Asana, I mean, if you want to look at Asana, this is the thing, second day plays. I mean, we have to continue to watch these plays because yesterday, I don't know if hopefully my trades will, yes, they will. Yesterday, we were pounding this long, like 83, 84. Like we knew there was a good report. I like the business, software. I like everything that Asana was doing. We did that multi-day break on the report right here, bang to the upside. We love the long, and then yesterday it just, like I said, man, off of these good names on good reports. Like some days we don't know what the big money's doing with these stocks, right? They bought it up all afternoon. Thank God we were able to take a bottom wick there of 79. We were long. We did get out of our first trade, which made us negative, and then we pounded this to the long side and wound up making that $4 or $5 right back. But still, man, I mean, Asana should have gone yesterday. It did. We weren't part of it, and then now today you're seeing the explosion up to 93 and change. So I'll leave this alone. This may be a good move now, but as you can see off the daily chart, we are now extending higher. Next call for this is 100, but I just don't know if it's going to happen today, especially if the NASDAQ wants to flirt with some downward moves. I'm already long a lot of these NASDAQ names. And then just one more time, man, we'll smile on something here, and that's going to be Virgin Galactic, as we just cashed out 71s there on Virgin Galactic. Now we'll hold the last piece of this and see if we can't get a little bit more of a winner on this one, as Virgin Galactic now still pushing days low, man. We got this one right at least. That's good. Like your upstart there. This is my biggest trade today, Virgin Galactic. Give us another one, Brendo.
Yeah, great look on Virgin there. We talked about that all afternoon. I completely slipped my mind this morning. Roku, guys, I've seen this fly by a few times on some scanners, and I guess this is why. Significant levels over here. You can see volume. If I zoom out here a little bit, maybe you can see volume huge today on Roku. It really hasn't done much, but trying to get back to the upside after a negative start to the morning on decent volume, though.
Yep. We got to take care of Cat. What is Cat doing? Cat is bouncing hard.
Caterpillar.
Yeah, Caterpillar. I'm short on Caterpillar.
Okay,
it's bouncing hard. Damn, okay. That 1050 break, not break, but at least work the low is not holding well. They're bouncing strong off of this. Can I spin this trade around? Let's find out. Sometimes I kind of do this. If the short isn't looking too good, that means I missed something in terms of volume-wise, support-wise. So if we actually come back into 12, no, I can't. If we come back into 12, I'm just going to get out. I thought maybe I can actually flip this to a long, but highly unlikely I'm going to be able to do that given the resistance that there is around 1250. 13 even. So if we end up taking the hit, we'll take the hit and just walk away from Caterpillar. But that's the only read for now. There's just a short side move on Caterpillar. UPSC still going strong. Okay, we're going to leave that. We move the trail stop. That's $6 in the money. We'll leave that alone. What is it? DD's out 20 cents. That's still within the range though, because I'm giving DD a chance here. The last chance to hold is about 30, pretty much where we are now. We're at 36 and change. If we lose 30, and then at that point, it makes sense to take the hit. It's going to be a small hit. It's like 25 cents or something like that. It's going to be right here. I look for the 950 break. There should be some support around 940 and change. Here we are at 936. If we break 930, I'm just going to walk away from this trade. No point in holding on to that one. And Lucid coming back around. Okay, Lucid back to being flat as we bounce off that 19 even. And AI is coming off a little bit, but AI actually is going to be one of those names I know is going to take its time to do its thing. We are long. Why is it? Oh yeah, okay. I don't have it set up on this. We are long just north of 50 here, 50.06 to be exact, and here we are bouncing off this 49.25 and change. The stop on this is AI. Just below 49. So 49 is the level that we're going to be working with, $1, and we know we can get more than $1, so that's fine as well. As Caterpillar comes back up, so does Lucid, and DD trying to bounce off that level, and futures coming back up strong here, bouncing off support into the mid, well, not yet, but we are at 32 and change. If, like I said before, if we can stall out somewhere in the 32 to 30, 34 to 36 to 38 area, somewhere in there, I'm okay putting up 15 points, maximum 15 points in risk for me to be able to take a shot on the short side for the futures as we come back up.
Okay, and AMD, yes, sir. We go from crying to smiling to smoking right now because AMD finally, we take that bid like we talked about. It rips all the way back to the upside. So we take you some profits there on AMD. So that should be a good one for us. Hopefully, anyways, that can continue to make moves to the high side as we just absorb some of that. So now we're out of half of our AMD. So, you know, a win is a win. We'll put that here. We do think it's still going to go higher. So we are holding a little bit onto that one. SoFi, good one as well, man. We'll punch that one out. We still expect this to go higher, but thank God we did get this bid right into this here at 15.10. We talked about putting some bids down here. We did get that one, so now we'll wait to see where we're going from here, but that is going to be SoFi. Trying to average, not trying. We did average into this one, so if you did take that initially, it may have been against you, but we did talk about that back into 15 here. These were some of the levels of concern for me, but we did make a nice little move back up, so we did clean some of that out right there at 21. I still think that we take out the high here. And this is a multi-day break again of SoFi right here today happening at 15.10. So hopefully that can get going to the upside and we'll just, you know, try to make some money on that, which we are making some money, so hopefully that's fine. I did want to say this is a mistake for me, so sometimes we'll go timber down, and we do have, you're not going to hear it from me too much. I don't make too many keystrokes, and this was not a keystroke error. This was just a left order. So I did leave an order down in here at 65. That filled me and finished the trade on Space. So Space Virgin Galactic, I think, could once again be the trade of the day. We talked about that. I was waiting for this to go to 24. I wish we still had a piece on board, but hey, a win is a win, and we're not going to cry over spilled milk. But at the same time, it's my fault. Right now, you know how many pending orders I have? Like 15 pending orders right now. So, I mean, I just missed that one. I sorted it alphabetically and missed it, but there we go. That is Virgin Galactic now falling back down, but we did cover that. Okay, AMD, I see you. Just trying to go again, 22 cents in the money. Hopefully we can get this to the upside and go even more on this one. And again, I think as long as the NASDAQ holds up, which it seems like it wants to do right now, AMD trying to take out new highs right now, and I think it does do that a little bit. So we're going to have an offer up here, right here, and just double check. That's the only offer I have. Yes, it is. So 111.16 here to take out new day's high on AMD. We're running that one through the grade as well here. Hopefully that can come through. Palantir just bouncing. Maybe we take a little bit out now on that. I can't believe we didn't average in there. I talked too much and we should have had that, but we don't. So that's Palantir. Let's go over to Brendan for another idea.
Nutanix, guys, another one in the IT services business. They reported yesterday. There was a bunch of activity on this yesterday after earnings were better than expected. But yeah, nice move to say the least. 40 up to 43.5 for NTNX.
All right, futures coming back up here. What do we have here? Around 45.30. Yeah, still flirting with the level, not a whole lot. CAT spun around, so we're out of CAT. Lucid has come back around, so that's being flat now. UPST turned around, so we've cashed out now finally about $4 on the remaining half of the position here, just as it broke 250 and change. So Lucid, not Lucid, UPST we've cashed out of, and we're waiting on Lucid to actually get going. DD might take a hit, and PD is actually turning back around as well. So here we are with PD. I got short on PD. What do I have short? 48.85 and change. Here we are just underneath 49. I was looking at 49 as potential, like as I mentioned earlier, we're looking at 49 as potential resistance. And if we can get some trading done below it, I might go for the shot. Well, it seemed like there was enough. I went ahead and took the shot here on PD, and the stop on this is going to be 51, it looks like. Actually, that's probably wrong. But I am short on PD, looking for a potential failure to the downside. See if we can actually get that run back down towards 45 and a half and change. All right, so that's one trade. What do we have here? 3 longs. Lucid long up 2 cents, DD down 23 cents, AI down 11 cents, and PD down 11 cents. But again, those are starting positions. So we're just going to wait for those trades to work themselves out, and we're just going to find some more. I think NVIDIA just popped off on my radar here. What does NVIDIA? Oh, yes, it did.
So when you mean popping off on your radar, what do you mean by that? Do you set preset alerts? Yeah. Like, what does that mean? 'Cause I think there were some people asking about that, and I guess it's just using our software for the alert setting.
Yeah, absolutely. So I have an alert system off screen where I set price points. If the stock gets to that price point, based on what I see in the chart, it will let me know that there's this stock moving, just like any other alert system. And a lot of the times, right off the open, because a lot of these conditions are met right off the open, you're going to have a bunch of stocks pop off. But throughout the day, as I have more and more stocks in there, you're going to have slowly a trickle of more information and more symbols that get into my screen that kind of met the criteria. And 227 break on NVIDIA was one of the criteria that were met. So here we are looking for a potential long on NVIDIA. Yes, I'd like the long on NVIDIA. See if we can grab some longs on NVIDIA just in front of 227 on the way back down. I'm not going to pay up to 30s. There's no way I'm paying up to 30. But there you go. See if you could get 20s. See if we can grab some more on the way on a better price than just what they're offering right now. So, but for now, I am looking at NVIDIA on the buy side at just above 227.
Okay, good. Yeah, we like NVIDIA there as well. And we're already long AMD, so that stock not really working out too great here for us. But hey, still working a little bit anyways. NVIDIA, AMD. You can't get the runners all the time, but we do try to get them as often as we can, and we did have to average into that, so we can talk about that a little bit. Let's check out on space one more time. Okay, that bounced a little bit, so no spilled milk there. But look what's happening right here. This was a good idea for us, man. We talked about SoFi a lot recently, and that was a great average in. We have that bottom tick. We talked about the multi-day break, and then we just took some out at 29 right there, and that was exactly the target that we had. So we, mission accomplished here on this name, as it looks like it wants to continue to run to the high side right now. Ethereum's trying to get to 4,000 now, 39.90, so it's getting very, very close on Ethereum. So you may want, this is ADA. ADA moving a little bit, not $3. That's my stock, or my coin there that I'm most invested in. But right now, I may have more money now in Ethereum, just from a net standpoint here, as we get ready to rock and roll through 4,000 there. So watch out for Mara, Riot. We talked about that, a few of those other crypto names. You guys know them all. So that's what's happening right now. SoFi taking out some new highs. Let's get some more out, man. We're still half our position left. Half of our position left. That's not normal for me. So let's celebrate the win and take some out on the high side as we get ready for my favorite segment, because I got to learn how to do these better. I'm only losing stock today, ANY. So let's go over to small cap recap and talk about, looks like APOP.
Hey guys, a few little ones we were talking about and dealing with here in the pre-market. I've said in the past, I really don't like trading stocks that have free float that's under 10 million. This is one of those. However, this was obviously weak right out of the gate. So it did test 950, and then 975 was that high. But when it came back up to test 950 again, there was all kinds of offers, all kinds of sellers hitting the bid, pushing this thing back through to 9 even. So that was kind of my cue to get involved with APOP. And then on the way down, prior support takes them out, prior resistance takes them out, prior support takes them out. Self-explanatory. Watch this level though, this 750. It's trying to get back above it right now. It could be an area where it does stall out, just that support area from aftermarket yesterday. FT we talked about as well, has done absolutely nothing. This is going to be about a flat trade for me. I'm done with this already, but stuck in a 20-cent range for FT. BBIG, I went back to this BBIG because of how weak it was yesterday. Really nice levels to work off of all day yesterday. 760 was the low in the pre-market. That flushes all the way down to 7. A little bit a volume issue at this point as well. It's kind of dying off already, but nice opportunity there for that BBIG. Guys, back over to you.
All right, I was just telling Sean, Lucid finally getting going here after bouncing off 19. Here we go, 1930 would round the highs that we put in just not too long ago. Back towards highs. If we can just get this extension, we can at least take a look at 1950 and change, right? So that'd be a nice little move. NVIDIA, man, okay. Do I even get the fill? NVIDIA took off for a quick second there. NVIDIA, I was like, oh, I put the bid down. They came down to like mid-teens and change. And then NVIDIA just took off to like 227.85 and whatnot. So there you go. On the way back down, I just caught the bid there. I am long on NVIDIA now. The stop on this, I've still got to figure out the stop on this. It's going to be about $2.5 or $2. I just got to confirm that, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. I believe it's going to be about $2.50 actually, just below 224.50. So somewhere down there is where I'm going to play. The reason I'm doing that is because, well, if we have support here, let's actually zoom this out. Oh no, that's not the one. If I were to pull this back a little bit, you see the resistance here at 227, around 226.50, around 226. So I want to capture all of that previous resistance as potential support on the way back down. If we were to put a stop down, it has to be below all those points, right? So I'm going to, at the very least, you can argue 225.50, but I'm looking at the way it's traded today, and I wouldn't be comfortable with 225.50. So I'm going to go with 224.50 and see if we can't work that. For now, though, it is in the money by flat. It's up 3 cents, down 3 cents, flat, but we are long at 227.06 as the average price on our entry on NVIDIA to the upside.
Yeah, okay. I was just looking at giving some back here on Palantir, and we'll see what happens with that. But so far, we're not giving anything back on that one, as now we have only now 25% of our position left on SoFi, as we just took some out there to the upside. So that's a good trade. There it goes again now at 39. So wow, this is going. I just got to make sure I don't have any other orders to get out of this one, as I think it continues to run higher here, guys. That is SoFi. So hey, multi-day break. We just tweeted that out. That's my favorite candle. That's my favorite trade. So right here, break, upside, bang, there it goes. But my favorite trade backfired on me. Thank God we were able to make a little bit more money back on this trade, and that was this any trade here, breaking its multi-day levels as well here, I thought anyways, at 750, but I guess we didn't get high enough. It's really that 770 mark right there, so we got a little bit too excited and took it too early. But hey, yeah, damn it, it's the one losing stock that we have on board today. I mean, you want to talk about what we've been doing today? How about space? I mean, short and still making moves to the downside. That's been a good trade. Look at AMD, now 33 cents in the money. Cashing out on that one was a big trade for us today as well. MMAT, I mean, we hit this hard and got out fast on that one. Hard and fast, that doesn't sound too great. NEO, nice trade. Dumped out some of this one, held a little bit, breaks VWAP, and we get out. So NEO's a positive stock for us today as well. Just wish it was a little bit more. Palantir could be a negative stock for us, maybe still is, but we'll wait. We're going to try to reload this one. And then I don't know what it's doing up here at the high side, but we're all expecting that to break. So that'll come through again. Sava, I mean, Sava was definitely a smiling stock for me today. In and out there. That's an instant. That's long at 59, out at 62. So, you know, that's $3 in a matter of 4 or 5 minutes. Then we get out on this break back to the downside. It does come right back there. That would have been a good shorting opportunity, because now you're seeing Sava back down to $55 here today. And I think that $52 mark at Sava looks like a good trade for that. SoFi is my net-wise, no, not my biggest winner, because we just talked about Sava there. But right now, that's to the moon, SoFi, I think, anyways. Nice call on this one. And then we'll end it off with space again. So the only mistake here today is ANY, and it's bad because I wish we would have had a winner, but at the end of the day, it's still only a 50-cent hit. So, you know, we recover from that and move on. But a good day today, as we're going to go. I think it's 7-1 or 6-1 so far. I hope you're having a good day as well, guys.
Yeah, one trade I kind of got rid of is PD. Remember, I was going for the short, looking for this move below 49. I was concerned about this. If we worked below, I was going to go for the short. Well, yeah, I did. And then we started to find support. The more I watched this trade, the more I realized this is not the right place to go for the short. It could be a dangerous short, especially if I'm putting up risk, a decent amount of risk, right? It's going to be about maybe $1.50 to $2. Wrong location for that. So I just went ahead, took the 15-cent hit, I think it was. Walk away from that, that's fine. It's just a misread on my part. Maybe I got more information after we moved down, so after we traded a little bit more. So for me now, I'm scratching that trade. I'm gonna walk away from this. We're gonna wait on Lucid to actually, well, Lucid is starting to fail up here. I don't know what to make of this, but Lucid is something that was not, I wasn't expecting Lucid to do this twice now around that 25 to 30 area. I might just cut out of Lucid actually. This is not the right kind of trading for this kind of a setup. Okay, so let me see if I can't dump Lucid and where am I long on Lucid? Okay, I can still come out ahead if I take out this and change. So we'll walk away from Lucid and see if we can dump this out. And all right, so Lucid, we're done with Lucid. We walked away with like a penny, enough to cover fees. So not up a whole lot on that, but we are flat on Lucid for now. And what do we have left? NVIDIA, DD and AI. AI and NVIDIA are in the money. Let's take a quick look at NVIDIA here. NVIDIA was the one that I caught on the bid back down. Yeah, holding well. It's holding well, so we'll just leave it alone and see if we can't actually get a nice little bounce. 227 was the point that I want to work with. We can just leave that alone. And DD, well, we know how DD is. It's sitting not too far from the stop. The stop is sitting just underneath here. We haven't got to it. So DD is one of those stocks where it's at a location where it's either going to get stopped out by a few cents or it's going to spin back around and we're going to make money on it. At this point, I don't really care. DD is just, it's got enough to say, oh, you know what, we're going to spin this around and maybe go for the short. But it's a weird trade. And like Sean said yesterday, or based on his trade yesterday, it was not an easy trade. It was all over the place. The reads weren't good. And I'm starting to notice that now today as well. It's not acting the way you would think a stock that's setting up a certain way would act or should act. For me, I'll walk away from it. I'll walk away from it with a 20-cent hit if we need to. But for now, NVIDIA and AI are doing just fine, and DD is almost out if it keeps coming down a little bit more.
Yeah, so I just did want to say that we are, because there's people talking about SoFi, we're almost out of SoFi now. As this made a move to the high side there, we can look at the 1 day here. Whether or not we get to the 50 period, that has nothing to do with day trading. That has more to do with, I have it on here to see, breaks, momentum, trends, things like that. And then I just love to trade off this. So, for my longer term trade. So right now, there's really nothing here to worry about with SoFi. So we're just sort of collecting the money now, like I said, and getting out of that name. SoFi right here on the day. Sorry, that's AMD. AMD falling down, which again, we took some out. We don't have a huge position left on AMD, but how many times did it bounce off of this 110.90 area? We should have got some out there. We'll look for some support on AMD now, though, as we're looking at the chart. Of this name back down to 110. I mean, we talked about trying to hold that 110, that VWAP level. So this is going to be a spot to average in right now. I believe I do have some bids lower, and then we'll see if we can average in right around here 110.40-ish. Coming through on that name. We will see that. It looks like Ethereum still having some problems here upside, but it looks like it wants to break through 4,000, so watch out for that. We could check in on Mara and whatnot to see where we're going, but right now AMD, yeah, okay, so it's not really doing too much. We talked about that looking like a break of 45. We'll see if that does happen, especially if Ethereum does crack that 4,000. It probably does go, guys, so that's something to look at. SPRT, a high of day, okay. SoFi, yeah, keep going SoFi. That's what we're all cheering for right now. 28 cents in the money off of some nice dip buys. We have the lowest tick of the day right now at 510 besides the open, so that was a good one. Let's go SoFi. Let's see if we can see some 1550s. I'm going to get out around 47, 48. I always take it out around those even pennies, so let's see what happens here with SoFi. Put an offer up there, 48s, and see if we get filled.
See if we can't get filled on SoFi, he says. All right, well, remains to be seen. We'll wait. If he gets filled,
my offer's there. My offer's there.
There you go. If he gets filled, we'll hear about it. So no issues there. Someone mentioned Macy's. I just looked at the quick chart on Macy's. Yeah, you could argue 22 even. I see that trade. Macy, 22 even break. It's sitting at 22.14. Let's pull this back, see if we get this chart loaded and pull this back a few days. And, okay, we're going to have to go to a bigger time frame. We'll go to the 15. Just so you guys know, I don't actually use the 15. This is just more so I can show you guys the structure of this trade. You see how it's been setting up, not setting up, but you see how it's been catching a bid in front of 25.25, 25.30-ish. So just because it's really close to a round number at 22, I would say for them to go, you would have to clear 22. And if you clear 22, you could argue that you could get 50 cents or so, maybe 50 cents. If you can use 22.50 stop, you could take the 22 even shot because you could get 21.50 potentially, but it's weird because I'm not even sure you can get to 21.50. There's a decent amount of support, I want to say in the 60s to 70s, and the risk of putting the stop and you getting out at the wrong location at 22.50 seems a little too high. I would prefer clearly the stop somewhere be up here at 23.80. If you go up that high, you might as well go to 24 even. So at this point, Macy's is there. I see the break, but I'm not sure from the risk perspective of it if it makes any sense. So I'm just going to say no to the Macy's trade. But I see the setup. It's just sometimes you've got to turn away setups just because the risk doesn't make any sense anymore, right? So just be aware. For anyone that's starting out and just considering things, risk analysis also has to be a major part of your trading because sometimes the best trades are going to come with a lot of risk. Sometimes it's you can get the reward for it, but sometimes it doesn't you can't. You can put up way too much risk and you won't get the reward because it doesn't have enough space or whatever the case is. So sometimes you turn down trades, and that's what I'm doing with Macy's there. I see the trade, but I can't make any sense of the risk on it. So I'm going to say no to that one. NVIDIA, yeah, I see NVIDIA. It's taken off. We've got the long 227. That was a bounce. That risk made sense because I knew we can at least get the risk back on this trade. So here we are waiting for NVIDIA to crack 228. If we can get 228, you see this here up here around 229 and change. I would look at 229 and change towards 230 as the first target here. At least that way we're sitting just in front of that 230 mark, which could provide somewhat of a stop, provide a nice little collection of stops. If it were to go off, that'd be great, but I would like to get some out in front of that in the event that they just spun this around because there is a decent amount of resistance here. We spent almost, the 30th, a few days ago, spending a decent amount of the morning, I want to say the morning hour or so, trying to develop some form of resistance in front of 230. So that could become a first problem. If we were to clear say around 228, 229, you might run into resistance around 229.25, 229.50 going into 230. So I'm going to wait to see how we trade close by as we get closer and closer to that area, but I am looking to potentially take that as my first target on NVIDIA. Futures, of course, coming back in underneath 30. Not a whole lot to do there. You can't do much with that. We're still waiting for this to get back into the mid-30s. Brendan?
All right, another little one just popping back up here, guys. This one halted early on. I was just double checking. Everything was still the same. Yeah, 10 million on the float on this one. This is Neuro One Medical Technologies, 50 million market cap. Just popped up again through 5 there, so a huge volume spike through 5 to the downside. It's trying to hold for NMTC, another one getting squeezed today. It's 10:30. Let's get a check of how things are shaping up over in Europe. Miss V, what's up?
Hey Brandon, European markets are negative. All funds group trading in Amsterdam is up almost 11% after it posted strong first half results. Back to you.
Yeah, a little bit of a negative way to wrap up the week, guys.
Stepped into this trade. Somebody in the chat mentioned this name for me, so I kept it up on the radar here. KPLT, thank you for whoever put that up. I can't remember. 650, I was looking at 650 to trade a little bit before I stepped in. 650 got there, traded a little bit. They struggled to take it out, and now it went as high as 675, 677 and change. So nice little quick winner for anyone who wants it. I do like the trade to the upside, though. I'm going to kind of let this one trade out a little bit more before I start taking profit on this one. The risk on this is not high. It's going to be about 30 cents or so below 620 and change. See if we can get a nice little run towards 7. But for now, it is coming back in. But I'm going to let this one trade out and see if we can make more on KPLT.
And yeah, we'll hit a swish here because SoFi, you said that you would hear about it if it broke through 50, and there it goes, man. A nice win for us on SoFi, like 15 bucks right there to the top side there. We love us some SoFi as that continues to go through. Ethereum does break through 44,000 there, the highest level since May for Ethereum, and we're starting to go here. But as you can see on the 1-minute chart on Mara, it doesn't seem to want to do anything. It touches 45 and now fading back in a little bit here. So watch out there if you are on any of these crypto plays. It looks like it's starting to fade back in a little bit here as Ethereum right now on the 1-minute chart. To zoom this out, it just touched 4,027, and now you're just sort of hovering back and around. It's a very volatile spot right here for Ethereum because as you can see, bouncing around here, this is a big level for it. So watch out for some of those plays. Bitcoin as well at 50,800 right now. There it is, and it's doing the same kind of thing. It just touches 51 and now coming back in a little bit there. So watch out for some of these crypto plays as they're fading back in. And AMD, guys, we get our bids. Look at this. Bang, bang. So we finally learn our lesson. We take that out on the upside. Now we go long again, and we're up to 110.6870. There, our average price, or not now, our new price is 53. So a good trade here happening, hopefully for AMD. We'll see if we can get back into this area and get out maybe high 60s. Take this one out for AMD. Palantir, did we just get that bid? Yes, we did. So Palantir now starting to go as well. Wow. If it wasn't for Any, this day would be mucho good. But right now, Any is the one that's a thorn in my side. So let's watch out for that one as Palantir still making moves to the upside.
Yeah, you said AMD, and I was like, AI? You have AI too? But no, I have AI, guys. AI long, just above 50. We took that nice little dip into 49 and 20 something. Again, the stop was going to be sitting just below 49 even, and here we are now back, not at highs, but we are approaching that 50-50 mark, looking to take out some highs. Again, targets on this is going to be much higher, so we're going to let this one go, see if we can't grab that 52.50. That would be where I'm looking at the first look to take some profits, unless, of course, we kind of fail at 50-50 again. I'm starting to look at KPLT, and I'm wondering if I should just not cash out, but get out, because the action is starting to get a little hot here around that 650 mark. All right, I may actually just keep an eye on this much closer. I might tighten up the stops. I don't like what's happening. This was meant to be one of those just quick moves in and see if we can't get a nice little runner towards 7 even. Clearly, there's some sell side action coming in, and there's enough support here. But I'm just trying to justify whether I should leave it for 30 cents or I should actually take it, just walk away from it. I'll give it a little bit more time before I make a decision on that. And what happened to NVIDIA? Wow, NVIDIA was near its highs there, and then it just spun right around. What are the features doing? Not a whole lot. They're coming off a little bit, but not a whole lot there. We're okay with this. We'll leave it as is. The NVIDIA stop is sitting just below, 225.50 and change, somewhere down here. So let it come back a little bit. Remember, we were looking at 229 as the first target, so this may take some time, but just let it work. And don't do a whole lot when it just is taking its time. So for now, we're waiting on AI to get going, NVIDIA to spin around at its point right now at 227, and KPLT, I'm keeping a very close eye on this. If we don't have the momentum to carry, I'm just gonna get out, because I was expecting a lot more than what we're getting up here, and we're not getting anything. So I may just walk away from this, take like a 2-cent hit, 2-3 cent hit plus fees, and the trade didn't work out. This was meant to be a runner. We didn't get the run, so let's just walk away from it, I think. There is some support there, so we may get a late push, but I'm just going to walk away. I'm out, guys. 2-cent hit on KPLT.
Okay, yeah, good call there. And again, if it's not working for you, it's not working for you. We're going to try one more time here on AMD. It's been a successful trade for us today. Thank God we initially take the 111 break. It goes up to 120. We don't cash out. And then we averaged into 110.60 there, and then take those out for that trade. Get another piece out right there. And now you can see our average price is working within here. We're going to watch out for this VWAP to break, and that means a 110 break as well. So that's going to be our spot out there. SoFi, again, I told you we were pretty light right there. Now they had 20% left. Now we only have 10% left as we take it out right there. So 10% left on SoFi, but still a decent win for us, needless to say, on SOFI. So yeah, the only problem that we had right now was any, and I guess we woke it up down here. It broke through VWAP and then started to go. But again, I was waiting to see if we took out that 770. That doesn't appear to happen. That's twice in a row. And it's my bad. I didn't do enough work. I got a little too excited on that. If you check out a 7-minute chart here on any, the trade really is right here. It's the 770 break. We had that twice today and it bounced off. So I'm not going to touch this thing until we actually break 770. I believe that's the level here on ANY. With Biden speaking apparently right now on the jobs report, yes, it looks like he's getting ready to do that. Who knows where this is going to go. I assume he's going to say some positive things about it, but we never know with this administration or any administration for that matter. So when we are ready, I don't know if Unity is working, but we are ready right now for Sector Watch with the main man, Brendan Wickens. Let's go.
Hey guys, yeah, just heads up first off on the market. President Biden about to speak on the jobs report from this morning. So typically doesn't really move the market, but just be aware. We are negative 0.2% for the S&P right now. Bit of a muted day really right across the board. There's a lot of red, but nothing huge to the downside. Financials are red, real estate stocks, materials, utilities, communications, all in negative territory, but nothing really jumping off the board. As far as outside moves, the healthcare sector as well under pressure today. COO was one that kind of stood out. Moderna as well. There you can see 1% to the upside, helping to offset an otherwise negative performance from these today. All the travel stocks back in the red once again. More Delta variant talk floating around today. So all of the cruise lines are here. Some of the hotels as well in negative territory. Although MGM and Caesars back to the upside today. Etsy standing out in the retail group as well, 2% higher on the session, where Gap, DG, AAP, Pool, and LKQ all about 1.5% to the downside. But consumer discretionary stocks leading the way as far as negativity is concerned. Tech stocks, on the other hand, If it wasn't for tech stocks, this number up here would be a lot bigger today. Now, FTNT, ACAM, Adobe as well among the leaders in the software names. Semiconductors, the entire group outside of Enphase and a couple little ones over here, all in positive territory. So semi is very strong, as we saw with AMD there. Some of the hardware equipment makers, NTAP, STX, and Keys among the leaders as well. But overall, pretty quiet, about 0.25% to the downside for the S&P. Back over to you.
All right, what do we do now? Okay, I just stepped into FUTU, by the way, short side move. This was an interesting stock because I was looking at it this morning. I put it in the alert for my alerts there at 109. I was like, well, I might be able to fade this into 109 depending on how the open comes. Well, FUTU being aggressive as it is, you see this take off right through 109, all through 110, almost into 111. And it just took off and then came right back down and took out the bottom. So here I am. You know what? That's a nice little push off the open that we failed. So why not take a shot at the short side here, just underneath 106. And here we are putting the stop just above 108. So we'll see if we can grab a nice little move on FUTU to the downside. We've seen how the stock can move, and it can get, when it gets going, it can really get going. So why not play the short side? So here we are short on NVIDIA, not NVIDIA, on FUTU. NVIDIA coming back a little bit. AI still kind of grinding its way through the highs. Futures, refusing to get to the mid-30s. I'm trying to play in the mid-30s here, and it just does not want to get up that high. It's just one of those things, guys. Expect today is going to be one of those days where it's going to be quiet. I think Sterling said this earlier. He's not expecting anything, or he would guess that there's no move more than 25 points earlier. I mean, yeah, it's going to be a quiet day. It's going to be one of those days where until we get to the end of the day and programs need to be run with the closing batches, I guess, with whether it's imbalances or whatever the case is going into a long weekend. Until that happens in the final, half hour, we're going to be fairly quiet. The activity was in the morning, right off the open, and then it's going to be quiet, and then we're going to maybe get some activity towards the end, as the best chance of any high volatile move is going to come in the final half an hour as programs are run into the long weekend. So just be aware that midday sessions going into a long weekend are going to be very, very quiet, unless there's specific news in individual stocks. That might move, that will move the individual names, but as a market as a whole, not sure how you can actually expect a whole lot going into a long weekend.
Okay, yeah, we didn't get stopped out. We talked about being nervous about AMD breaking through this VWAP. It does do exactly that. But we were waiting a little bit lower than 110, but it looks like we'll probably get cracked out on this one. So this will be a loser, and it can go into the gates of hell. It can go AMD right now to join any with some losers today. BBIG, yeah, look, we talked about Vinco Ventures. It was a trade of the day not too long ago. I think it was Monday or Tuesday, and thank you for supporting that trade of the day. It was one of our better trade of the days in the last little while. But you can see here, I haven't touched it since then. And this is why. And even in that video, I believe we talked about it, maybe the run being over there on BBIG. And if you just look at a 7-minute chart here, you can see what we're talking about. And it just, yeah, it's big runs, big volumes. And now we have sort of lower volumes into today. And you're seeing what happens when it's not being supported. There is nice moves to the downside. And BBIG still, I'm going to be interested in this, don't get me wrong, but needs to get back down to the $6 level here, where I think there's going to be some support based on past areas of support and resistance. So right there, BBIG, Vinco Ventures. I know it's a popular name amongst you guys on there. HVPT. Okay, I'll talk about that, Steve G. What up, Steve G? How are you, my friend? HVBT, and I know we've talked about this with Brendan a lot, and we just haven't looked at it too much yet. Hive blockchain starting to go here. Again, this was a Canadian, or is, I believe, a Canadian name that's gotten uplisted here. So a nice move. We saw some of those breaks happening on the crypto side. We talked about those. Bitcoin to 51, Ethereum to 4K. We've pulled back from those levels now, but not by much. And HVBT here looking like a nice little runner. Where are we on the daily chart though? Because again, I have to apologize because I know Hive, as long as that's the same name here as it is in Canada, I just want to see what the pricing is. Where's the daily chart? Oh, here it is right here. Yeah, okay, so it did come over at 270, made a nice bottom there during Ethereum lows and Bitcoin lows of 25, 30,000. Now you're right back up. So, okay, so it is following, it looks like, the price of coins here. So HVBT, if you did want to look at something, I think this is a good one. When we only have 15 minutes left in the day here, but But HVBT, if you're watching crypto and you like it, this is probably a good play. It looks like it's following it step by step.
All right, I'm looking at KPLT again. I actually I'm trying to get back in. I think see, when I was initially long at 650 and change, I was actually looking for 620 as the potential stop, right? And the fact that they are willing to hold 620 as strong, we got as low. This is the that's the 15 actually. And this is the 5-minute chart here. The fact that 620, mid-20s held well and then came back towards the highs, I'm trying to get in. I don't want to chase this too far though, but I do like the idea of going long. We were a couple cents from getting me filled in front of 650. I'm still waiting there. See if we can actually play this on the long side. I like the idea of putting up 30 cents now. I took a 2-cent hit earlier, but now I'm okay with the idea of, overall risk 32 cents on this trade. So why not take a shot? I like the idea. I like the way it's been played. 620 seems like the right location as well. I thought it might be, but you never know when volume comes into play. So now I see enough. Let's see if we can grab it on the long side on KPLT. So that's one trade I'm looking for. We're still waiting on FUTU to keep going down. NVIDIA just came back off, bouncing off that 226.50. AI is still grinding towards that 50-50 mark. So, oh man, KPLT going at 690 now, 689. I may not even get this. Damn, okay. That trade may be gone. If it goes to 7, I got to cancel the order. At that point, the trade's gone, right? It's one of those things where you get in when the volume's on your side. You try to protect as much as you can as it goes. And if it goes a lot further than you're expecting, at that point, if you're not in, you probably shouldn't be waiting for a pullback because the volume can get aggressive on the sell side. The window may have closed for that trade. Okay, we're gonna have to let that one go. But the other three that I have, the NVIDIA and the AI and the FUTU, all in the money at this point. So we're just waiting for them to actually start to get going now, so we can actually amplify the profits as we go into what, 11 o'clock? European close, by the way, guys. Is Europe even open?
11:30. Yeah, it should be open. Yeah.
No, I thought there was. No,
Is it closes today, their Labor Day? I don't know.
No. Okay, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
If Europe is, I can't remember. I know there's a holiday in Europe at some point. Maybe it was August Day or something.
Valeria is our European correspondent, so she will find out for us if Europe is open or closed.
If Europe is open, it's 11:30 close. So in about 45 minutes, we should be getting the European close that may move some euro-related stocks. So keep that in mind as well. First off, though, and we need to double check the European holidays because I don't know all of them, and some of them are obviously, mid-August. We don't really have a whole lot of mid-August holidays here, so just be aware of that. For now, though, futures bouncing back towards 30, so maybe we can get a shot. Maybe we actually get a chance to play in the mid-30s on the short side on the futures. Time will tell, I guess, at this point.
I wonder what WonderFi is up to right now. Up to $1.60. I saw someone talking about it there on the chat. Of course, it's also on the pink sheets, but WonderFi right now, 165, up 8.5%. Shout out to Kevin O'Leary and to Josh Richards. A nice day. This is just a daily chart. Doesn't matter. We opened up high, bounced back, made a nice bottom yesterday at 140 or so. I don't know if it wicked down to 130 or not, but WonderFi today, decent, 170,000 shares, not too bad. But this is what the daily chart looks like, just bouncing around today. I just wanted to bring it to everyone's attention because we did talk about that there. Okay, let's go. Joe Biden, I know there's some political talk on there. I'm going to keep my comments to myself when it comes to politics, and I think that's what we do on this show. We don't want to alienate or give our opinions. Hey, we're just in Canada. We're actually, you know how crazy it is in Canada? I just said I'm not going to talk politics, but I'm going to do it anyways. Is that, we just elected a prime minister, which would be the equivalent to a president, sort of. But, less than 2 years ago? And all of a sudden, there's the powers that be here in Canada that you can just call an election whenever the hell you want. So he's calling another. What up to Justin Trudeau? Hey, what's up, my good friend? He's calling it again right now due to support that he believes he has for some of this restructuring and handing out more cash and whatnot for this COVID. So anyways, get ready to vote. I believe it's September 20th. We have another election here in Canada. So parties keep spending your money on all this. I don't know if it's necessary, but he wants another 4 years. We don't have the same restrictions that you can only do 2 terms here in Toronto, in Canada. So, get out and vote. That's the only thing I can say. All this politics talk, whether or not, whatever party you're on, just make sure you vote. I think that's the most important thing, and at least that's what they teach you in school. You're supposed to do anyways. So get out there and vote. All right, AMD on the way back side now. I don't don't know if it's going to hit that 110 or again, but hey, we're going to get out a little bit lower than that. I guess I do know if it's going to hit it. I'm going to say yes, it's going to hit it. But our average price right now is not a great one. It is 44s, so we will take about a 50-cent hit on this, which will put us negative on the stock. Unfortunately, looks like it's coming to the downside right now, and there it is. We will flush that out as well, and we will just go. Pokeroo says to me, why are you long these semiconductors? I say, I don't know, a little bit of Canadian content there for you with Pokeroo. But right now, let's see what those cryptos are doing. It looks like they're bouncing around one more time. Let's see if Ethereum can stay above 4K today.
Yeah, let's talk.
With Brendan.
Let's go to Brendan, yeah.
Struggling currently, but I'll show you here in a second. All about the US dollar today. Off that jobs report, you can see big spike to the downside. That's a, what is that, hourly chart for the US dollar. So we are in negative territory off the lows here, but it is still trying to hold 92 for DXY. That means a lot of these in positive territory. The euro, the Canadian dollar, almost back to 80 cents for the CAD, 79.9. British pound, 138.5, higher on the day as well. As are the rest to the downside. We saw that Sean was mentioning the big move in cryptos on that number as well that we got at 8:30. Bitcoin 50,600 and change. Yeah, Ethereum struggling right now at that 4,000 area. 3,973. Still leading the way though on the day. 4.3%, guys. Back to you.
Yep. All right. I pulled the order on KPLT. I am not sure how this is going to work out. So the momentum is starting to dry up a little bit. So you know what? I'm going to go ahead and move out of the way at 650. Let's not get involved on KPLT. And there you go, Sean, putting up the Canadian flag there. Somebody's moving to Canada, eh?
Yeah, I was going to say, Mitchell Williams, welcome aboard. We just took 5,000 more Afghanistanis. Is that right? Afghanistanis? I think that's right. Afghans, yeah, but I think as they're Afghans, okay. Detainees anyways. And again, you know, not to talk politics here, but we love our country and we'll hit it one more time. And I just think that if you guys are wanting to come in, I mean, why? I don't know, why not? We are a low population and we're accepting more and more. So come in right now if you're moving to Canada. Thank you, Mitchell Williams. Afghans as well. Yeah, okay, that's right. All right, so let's just keep going here. As we're getting ready to rock and roll there, that's a sad story over there in Afghanistan. But again, that's not what we're here to talk about. So Clover, a lot of people talking about that getting off a little bit today. It was early, man, and look, I'm a buyer of Clover at these levels. You know that I do believe in the space here, in the pharma space, in the healthcare space. There's more healthcare, but you know, Clover making these bottoms. You know, if there's something that's setting up for a move here, this is a name just like SoFi, where we're getting off that bottom. So. You know, we're getting ready there to come back in. So we'll watch to see what does happen with Clover. Look, people talking about, and I'm always going to talk about Canada. So we actually have better weather than many U.S. states and many U.S. cities. Like people are like, I'm not moving to Canada because it's too cold. It's warmer here than it is in the state of New York for the most part, unless you get really southern. But yeah, we have friends. We can talk to Jeff Mendel from OTC Markets as well. And I have friends out in Philadelphia and things like that. East Coast is pretty brutal, let alone, you know, Minnesota and some of those other places. It's not that cold in Toronto, guys. Just look it up. And, you know, you guys know, as soon as we get opened up, I do want to have a Trader TV get-together. We will be talking about that, and everybody's going to be welcome. I'm sure some of the people that are in Ontario would like to come to that, but you know, we need this world to be open again for that to happen. We're not even allowed to travel yet, I think, over the borders into the U.S. via car, but I think we are via plane right now, and if you are, you have to jump through hoops for that as well. But yeah, California has great weather. If you want really good weather, we do have Victoria and British Columbia, sort of the West Coast side of Canada. Doesn't even get below zero. Well, it does, but you know, not often. I'm talking Celsius here, not Fahrenheit. So, all right, Clover back to $9. We're getting ready to close the show, and as we do that, I want to give a big thanks. If you're unable to join us again at 3 o'clock when we come back, I do want to give a big thanks to Arun as well. So thank you, my friend, for coming through both the last 2 weeks for Mr. Roberts and myself. And Neil will be back on Tuesday, and you'll be remotely analyzing the futures for us. And I know there's a big need to have Arun on the show some more, and I'm just going to keep on bugging him to do that. So there is a secret day in September that you're going to come back through for me on that day. So he will be back at some point soon, and hopefully it's sooner rather than later. We would love to have Arun on the desk with us. More to come on everything. And then next week, we have a meeting today. As I look at Valeria, Memes and Movers will be back. That is not going anywhere. We are making sure that it's the best product possible for you. And when that's ready, that will come back. And I shed a tear for that because I wait for it, and I'm excited to get Memes and Movers back. And there you go, Arun. A lot of love on the chat for that. And if we can, I'm going to do it one more time. We did it yesterday. We got 2K likes yesterday. We're only at 1.1. This is Arun's last day. If you truly are a fan of what we've been doing today, and look, it doesn't matter. I know there's lots of fans. Let's get this likes going upside again. Maybe we can get to 1.5 here in the next couple minutes. That would be absolutely fantastic. So Arun, again, thank you so much.
I just pressed my animation just because that's the last time I'm going to press it this week. I haven't really been doing a whole lot of animations. Hey, we're here to make money, right? That's what we're doing. I know that the chat gets excited at times with other topics, but hey, at the end of the day, we're all about the money, guys. We're all about the dollars. So we're just talking about trades right now. I'm going to finish off a recap of my trades that I've got right now. NVIDIA to the upside, coming back around. Finally, AI is getting going. Here we are approaching 51 and change. We're at 50.67 at the moment. And FUTU is coming back in from 106. We're expecting all of that. And futures, at some point, guys, we'll do the afternoon show, and hopefully we get a trade between now and then. Futures, mid-30s. If we can get a set up there, that's the short I'm going for. But for now, that's how I'm going to end the show. 2 winners at the moment and one that's still working its way in. And that's about it. Sean, you want to take us into the end here? I know you got your hands on your keyboard. You got something ready.
You know what? By the way, I see what kind of national day it is, and I am about to maybe go shopping after the show, and I think it's about time, without any further ado, we throw it over to Miss V, and we'll talk about what national day it is. Shout out to my paisans.
Thank you, Sean, and hey guys, thank you very much for spending this week with us. I hope you're all doing great, you're working on your trading, and have a lot of profitable days. Please don't forget to like this video. Have a wonderful long weekend. We will see you on Tuesday, and happy National Chianti Day, everyone. Sean, white or red wine?
Yeah, well, you're not going to get a white Chianti, but we do like Chianti for sure. I'm more of a... Well, now we're heading into the season where we can enjoy reds a little bit more, but throughout the summer, definitely Chablis, a nice that's great, a region in France there. Love the Chardonnay grape as well. But Chianti, I like Chianti. I'm more of a Barolo guy, but if I wanted to save a little bit of money, then I can move over to a Chianti instead of a Barolo. So that's what that is right now. Wine or what's your
everything you said?
advice?
I understood none of it because I'm not a wine drinker at all. I am a cognac guy, so I'll stay in my lane with that drink, and I don't step out too much.
Some banana cognac.
Well,
does anyone know where that's from?
No, I don't.
Okay, that's fine. All right, if you do, put that in the chat there. Brendan, I don't even need to go to him for this national day, but we will anyways. Chianti or pass?
It's always wine o'clock somewhere, right?
Perfect.
100%. Yeah.
You know my wife by any chance? Yeah.
I do.
So Chianti's a yes.
Oh, 100%.
100% yes. Okay.
Delicious.
Good.
Delicious.
Delicious. I don't love the cherry taste sometimes, but you got to pick and choose which vineyard you're from in that situation. But look, for all of us again at Trader TV Live, especially we can go to Miss V. Actually, do you have she shows her mic? I didn't ask you. Are you red or white? Maybe we can get a look at Valeria here.
Well, I would say wintertime red and summer white and rosé.
Rosé, okay, yeah, she's mixing it up there. I like that call. So for all of us here, thank you to Lucas, who's running the ones and twos by himself for the whole show. So get this man a raise ASAP. There he is. What's up, Lucas? Thank you so much.
Shout out to Mitchell for the super chat right at the end there, trying to get me a bottle of Remy there. Thank you, sir.
There we go. Okay, you can grab that now. Yeah, that's sure. It's adding up to that. Thank you so much for everybody. Thank you to Arun again. He's back at 3 o'clock for one last show. So join us for that. We're going to be excited. I don't know what's going to happen here the rest of the day. Should be a relatively slow one. The jobs number's out. I guess the president is finished now. So we will enjoy the rest of the afternoon. Look for some good trades. Be safe and get us back at 3 o'clock. Ciao till then.